5.
Hello, 5. We got 5.
Hello.
That means it's official. Hello and happy Saturday. We're back with like a different-ish crew for a short adventure that we're going to be doing. That's kind of happening alongside of the main campaign, which is difficult terrain. So thank you for being here. I'm just going to check something out really quickly. Okay, good. I just did a quick sound check. Everything sounds and looks good, so we're all right. But I'm going to take a moment to introduce our cast. Who don't introduce your characters just yet, because we can do that as we hop into the adventure. But you can just talk about yourselves, where to find yourselves, and how I dragged you into this. So I'll start with the one that everyone seems worried about, Vogley.
Hey! Hey! All right, no. Hey everybody, I'm Vogley or Vogelstadel. Usually I'm here on Saturdays on difficult terrain playing Nirja Zaran, who's the Dragonborn fighter. What else have I done? I've also played Helkatla on the other very short and lovely Monday time when we went after rats. And Joe and Anita were there. And now that I mentioned Joe, I'm going to talk about Joe. You also can't find me online except here because I don't like it except here. So, Joe, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi. I'm Joe. I'm here right now and other times because they invite me back a lot, and it's great because they're great and we have a good time. As for how I was dragged into this, I think you used a forklift, and that's what it was. It was more of a push than a drag. I just got scooped up. But in that case, it was a consenting kidnapping. It's great times. I'm gonna end this weird cadence and just talk normally because it's hard. We're gonna be here all night if I don't. So in that case, I am on the internet, one other place. Dispel Logic on Sundays. We play Dungeons & Dragons at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a good time. Maybe come say hi. Other than that, Nenners, you say things.
I'm Nenners, often known as Nenners the Overworked. I DM here Wednesdays and Fridays, and then I'm usually a victim on Saturdays here as well. So it's a good time to be had by all. I am the proud older brother of the foosball over here, and you can find me here, chilling in our Discord, probably playing a game or two. I'm around. I don't usually frequent Twitter or anything like that, but if you yell loud enough, I'll come out.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
We mean that in general. If you just stick your head out any window and yell Nenners loud enough, he'll eventually just kind of like shimmy his way out of a bush to say hello.
That name was chosen very specifically. It's scientifically shaped like the sound waves to carry everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll know. No one else will understand why they hear the word.
So yes, thank you guys for introducing yourselves. I'm excited for this. This should last about 3 weekends, as difficult terrain is kind of on pause in the meantime. I say kind of, but it is. So we're going to be catching or just kind of doing this in the meantime while difficult terrain is on pause. So thanks once again for joining us. And I think we're just going to kind of hop in with a bit of a sort of a scene setting in that Garai, the human fighter / rogue, had previously moved to this city of Kimathi Kimane years ago to sort of escape a sort of dangerous past of sorts. His wife having left the family before he arrived in the city, he and his daughter made the best they could in the city and seemed to enjoy the time for some time before, unfortunately, his daughter was murdered, and having fallen into a depression as such because of the daughter, Garai was also murdered not too long after, unfortunately. But not this team, but the other team of difficult terrain, the Preventers, managed to resurrect him by way of Kodrono, their cleric, having the high enough spell slot and being able to learn the ability to resurrect someone within the last 10 days who had died. So bringing Garai back, they found out that he was assassinated by a musician of some kind who often plays the violin and another character from Difficult Terrain heard music once Garai was murdered, despite not being within the vicinity to hear said music. But Garai very much remembered the assassin who put him down, and coming back to life and not having much of a direction other than no family and this guy's an asshole and is a terrible, horrible person. Garai's goal currently is essentially murder the assassin that assassinated him. So he paired up with the Difficult Terrain team for a bit, and they did run into he's cheating bastard, the assassin for an encounter, but he should have died with a disintegrate spell from Valen in Difficult Terrain, but he seemed to sort of fly away as a almost like metallic liquid, sort of almost like a mercury kind of substance that just blazed through the city at a speed that was impossible to keep up with. But knowing the vague area that entity seemed to have disappeared, Garai had plans to make sure that this assassin would die. In the meantime, he did manage to make a contact or two, having rested his full rest because he was fucked up after that battle. It went down more than once, if I remember correctly. Having rested and found two people that he believes will help him in this endeavor, which is simply to murder that music assassin, we're going to be picking up with the team basically in the room that was supplied for Garai within the palace, knowing that this palace is heavily warded, heavily protected. It is thankfully a safe place to speak, but those inside of it also understand that you kind of can't really cast spells in this area because of all the wards. It is safe, but not exactly a very magic-free area. But meeting in his room, the three of you are gathered, understand what the goal is, but so far do not have a plan. You do have a direction and a target, though. So we're going to be picking up with this team, and I think we all kind of know Garai a little bit, but I think it's just going to be fun to kind of have everyone maybe describe themselves a little bit. So I won't start with Garai. We'll start with the new ones. So Nenners, if you don't mind introducing your character and what he looks like as you guys plan.
Okay. I play Wakchi Lacroix. He is a older Yuan-Ti gentleman with kind of a shaved like size of his head, like a really long like ponytail that just kind of goes down his back. He's kind of thin, has these kind of really creepy yellow slitted eyes that he just kind of judges everyone around. His age is kind of showed in the gray and like kind of the deepening between the scales that manifested by his head. But he carries himself with a confidence that borders on arrogance, but is very much kind of suspicious of this particular area right now, and he's very much a like loyal particular companion, and has not seen this level of focus and his old friend in quite some time. But he's a bit of a jumble at the moment. A bunch of emotions kind of running through. Haven't seen his friend in this particular position, and the reality of not being there for him when he needed weighs heavily on him. But he is more than willing to make that up here and now.
Awesome. And then we'll move to Vogley's character. If you'd like to introduce and describe your character.
Sure. My character's name is Ingza Doradas, and she is kind of like what you see here. She is Shadarkai, and she is currently in Kimate Kimane, mostly doing a bunch of different kinds of sales. She loves trinkets and pretty much does understand material value, as she also really loves connections and making connections and knowing people. So in a way, she's kind of like a broker in both items and information. And she's like even though she is kind of on the younger side, she does have like wrinkles around her mouth and around her eyes that suggest that she's older, and she always kind of she will look really tired if she isn't like smiling or anything like that, which she usually is because she does have a vivacity around her, and she just usually looks very drawn and looks very pale more often than not. But otherwise, she's kind of bright and has little pops of color within some of her clothing, which the majority of, just kind of looks like what everybody else is wearing. And I guess that's where I'll leave it for now.
Sure. No problem. And we're gonna get back to Garai, the man with a plan.
All right. He is a human man who looks like a long rest wasn't enough. And like sleeping isn't a satisfying thing that leaves you refreshed. And despite the fact that an old friend is here to help him get the thing he needs, he both doesn't take the a true comfort and joy in seeing someone, and the guilt that he should. He's just a shell of a man getting something done.
Okay. There you go.
Fogley's okay.
It makes me think of the Clint Eastwood character in Unforgiven. I think it is. All right, y'all. Man, all right, moving on.
I don't like Clint Eastwood. He's a terrible person. Anyway,
Wow.
Shots fired. Anyway, we are picking
Getting
up with
fresh on the internet. I think it's officially this is broadcast. This is officially a crime.
Oh well, it is. That's fine.
Everybody's
an opinion is not something
Everybody
you can
can
get
have
sued for libel or slander, whichever one it is.
I'm gonna be sued.
Slander spoken, libel's written. But anyway,
correct.
Yeah.
And I mostly know that because of the Spider-Man movie. Anyway,
Right?
We're gonna be picking up with you guys formulating a plan within Garai's room in the palace. This is your opportunity to ask questions of both in character and out of character of what you'll be doing and where you'll be going.
I actually have a question. Is Ingza actually there?
Yeah, all three of you are here. That's why I was like, this
all right.
is
I was
more
a
or
little
less
confused.
the agreement to do what's going to be done, which is assassinate someone, has
Okay.
already been made. Everybody is just here in the planning stages.
Okay.
God damn, that's a dark ass background. I just love it though.
I haven't
you
seen
can't
it
see
yet.
he's got a snake buddy there too. It's still the
Oh, it's on the other side. Yeah, there he is.
Holy
I
shit.
love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
that is a
It's
dark
great.
background. Jesus Christ.
I love it. This is great.
So,
is this
and
just going to be Vogley shell shocked for the entirety of?
yeah, I am. I don't have enough room for this.
Oh, no.
But so which room are we in the palace?
My room.
Your room, okay. So it's just
Correct.
like a dorm-ish room.
It's kind of
maybe
like a
just-
studio setup where it's all essentially one big room, but there's a small kitchen, there's a dining room table where you are likely seated or standing depending on where you are, a bed of course, and just various. It's clearly meant to be sort of like a temporary housing situation.
Okay.
And in this sort of area of the palace, it's like hallways of these kinds of rooms. So these are just more or less people who might need a place that the royal family has otherwise decided to house and maybe keep an eye on, but also just make sure that they're safe and healthy. So Garai is in this part of the palace, and you guys find yourselves in the room with him.
Okay.
I'm assuming I have a map of the city.
Yes.
On the
Cool.
table?
Totally fine. Yes.
Cool. Then I'm gonna stab into the map. The bastard's somewhere near there. So the first thing we have to do is get that more specific.
Okay, so you kind of have an idea about where he already is?
Within, a few blocks of here.
Oh, so very close by.
That is very close.
And you will notice it is it's more like on the block that's closest to another side of the oasis. So it is very close to the usual body of water in the city.
And
Are you-
sorry. She's just gonna ask. So you're saying that he is going to be corporeal at this point?
I assume. I don't think he's left as a metal thing forever.
Fascinating.
Irritating. Now, despite what could be implied based on how I have made him my sole focus, I don't think he cares. We're not going to draw him out. We have to get to wherever he is and fight him on his ground.
Are you aware of any of his associates that we should perhaps target as well?
At that question, I stroke my beard and ponder to myself, do I know any of his associates? I'm going to open up a document I have and ask you for specifics.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a check anyway, just to see if there's something that you might remember that's a little less
History, you
obvious in your notes. History. I'm sure you're great at that. Oh shit! Yo, the Garai energy is here. Correct. You are at least familiar with more or less the sort of top tier assassins of that association. It's not necessarily the Sidewinders, because the Sidewinders are local to Kimate Kimane, but these assassins are everywhere essentially, and you are at least understand that he's part of the top 3, and that they seem to have either absorbed or are working with the Sidewinders here in the city. So in terms of like who he might know sort of close to him, you're not entirely sure about that, but you do know about his position in the main.
So there's certain things I can't say.
Yeah.
So
correct. Yes.
are the
there are other
names
things where, like,
the
you
2
know.
other assassins? Am I able to say their names if I know them?
Yes.
I'm pulling up my sheet now because it went to a different place than I thought it did. So I haven't. I've been stalling for time.
You're good. Don't worry. The other assassins that you are aware of, you actually don't know the name of one. You just know of them.
Gotcha.
And the other you do know as the Mirror Assassin.
Okay. Could Ingza know about or have heard about them?
Ooh, give me a history as well. Just because,
Okay.
like, I don't know if you would have, like, encountered anyone who has encountered them, because they would have been dead. But we'll see if you've... Alright, so there have certainly been, like, whispers that you've maybe heard here or there. Like, certainly nothing definite. But,
Got
like, every now and then, maybe a sort of, like, almost like a boogeyman story of, like, I think some dude saw, like, a man with a mirror's face or something, and maybe that's a bad omen or something, but certainly not, like... Oh, he was seen 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she would, and that would have also stuck out in her mind because it's like, ooh, a man made entirely of mirrors, shiny person, you know, kind of.
Yeah.
So just to be sure, this is to the death, right? There's no taking prisoners, no interrogations. The fight ends with this particular person.
Anyone and anything else is irrelevant. Die, don't care. This
Have
man
you-
dies.
You've been in law enforcement. Do you have any friends we can call on, or maybe buy us a window? I know how you work, and it's not quiet.
I could help in that respect if you are specific about what you think you need.
We could maybe get someone to look the other way or cause enough of a scene to give us an in, but this isn't exactly going to be an approved course of action.
Doesn't sound like it. But
It wouldn't be the first time we were outlaws, so I'm not too worried.
It's not even that so much as you die once and they think you're delicate.
And actually, Garai would know about this, but anytime you've left the palace, you have been tailed by palace guards.
So in addition to finding this man, we'll have to shake our detail as much as that. Friends, maybe, but to get them to just not follow me is not likely.
That can be arranged. That's not a problem.
Palace guards are quite stubborn, usually.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I'm open to hear what you were planning.
Well, we can not necessarily buy them off, but we can go through a few different directions, a few shortcuts that they probably don't know about, but I do.
Other than that, if we can cause enough of a scene on our way through that they'll have to address, or, the right man for the right price will spend some time in jail. So if he were to commit a crime directly in front of them.
Absolutely. Or there's also a couple of sections where I know a few people who could just cause a bit of an argument or a stir that won't necessarily require jail time and could certainly accomplish what needs to be accomplished. So don't worry about that.
Are they tracking you through magical means?
Not that I'm fully aware of, but I would not be surprised. Worst comes to worst, if they want to follow us all the way in there, they're not going to fight against us if it comes down to us.
But they may interfere with your vengeance.
They can try, but most likely they'll either intercede to help keep me alive, or they will not involve themselves. If it comes to that.
They certainly seem to care about you very much.
Since we're talking about possibilities, what if they're taken hostage? What's our plan, if any?
This is why we should try and remove them from the equation.
Understood.
Well,
all right.
We can employ both going through a few crowded sections to shake some of the detail and cause a scene that they have to deal with, and then employ the shortcuts.
We'll lose them if we can.
Absolutely.
So, I imagine this man doesn't leave his door unlocked and probably has sentries of some kind. Do you have any plan on how we get in?
Well, there should probably be some preliminary observation. Once we can find exactly where he is, we'll have to see who's got eyes on the door. Though we might not have time to fully look for it. If we're going to lose a detail, that's going to give us one window.
Another suggestion, if I may. I'm pretty good with doors, but if you can take care of whoever is guarding them, that would be very helpful.
I think that could be arranged.
We'll want to bring some ranged weaponry for that particular. We can quickly pepper anyone on the rooftop or pad a walkway and get them silenced quickly.
Exactly.
The biggest concern I have, having fought him once, I would say twice, but I don't think the first time really qualifies. He has some sort of, I don't know if it's an object he carries or innate magic he possesses, but something to do with timing. he periodically can strike out in ways that don't make sense. But moreover, he has reactionary magic. If someone were to cast a spell in his direction, he lashes back out.
Magic only?
That's true.
This is why I'm hoping we can keep things to mundane weapons. Not non-magic, not spells.
I see. This object that you mentioned, did you happen to take a good look at it?
The only thing I know well is his weapon.
Okay.
It may be a property of that or something else entirely, but he has a scythe that can alter its form and become a bow.
Oh, that's fascinating.
And it is powerfully enchanted.
You don't say.
I don't know if something like this can be obtained. It's powerful enough to be rare and expensive, but any sort of scroll or device that can suppress magic for a time.
So you're saying that if someone were to take it, that weapon would not stay in the person's grasp for a very long time?
I disarmed him. It mattered little. It returned to his hand. But if we can end the magic around him, then it should hopefully become just another blade.
I see. Interesting. I don't think I've heard of an object like that before. It must be custom made.
Well, you certainly know how to pick them.
He picked me.
Hmm.
Barring the ability to just ban all magic. I had considered attempting to get him here. The wards in this place are powerful, but he would not come here. If we can inoculate ourselves to his particular weapon, it seemed to do damage. Was it force or necrotic? It was doing?
Necrotic.
Sorry, I was muted. It was force and necrotic.
Oh,
The
both.
necrotic was the burst, and the force was the original damage of hitting it. Also, thanks for the DM inspiration. I appreciate it.
What? Again?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
The viewers have wised up to where the inspiration goes.
fucking hell.
I love it. Thank you.
Mother Dex.
Thank you, Ben.
No, thank
It's
you.
great.
No.
I genuinely appreciate it.
I don't.
I don't. No.
All right. So, shake the tail, get some recon on the area, take out whoever's outside. We get inside, have to deal with a particularly deadly combatant who uses a bow and a scythe and has anti-magic properties.
Like I say, if we can interrupt his magic or at least strengthen ourselves against his particular weapon, those both will help. My other thought, to avoid his reactionary abilities, spells won't work, but I have to assume someone in this city has something particularly poisonous.
That could certainly be arranged. You mean actual poison, or do you mean just counteracting his ability?
Oh, actual poison.
Actual poison. That seemed to do the damage?
For us, I would like us to get poison to use on him.
Well, as someone whose culture essentially revolves around poison, may I suggest purple worm poison?
Oh. What
It
is
usually
purple worm
costs
poison?
More than the room that we're sitting in, but it is quite effective against biological creatures.
You don't happen to have any of that on you, do you?
No, magic is my preferred method of slaying.
Mm.
An early education in venoms is mandatory in our culture.
Okay.
I am retroactively paying attention to your class choice there, Nenners, and I'm going to pivot some of my plans.
um,
But to accentuate his point, he'll kind of flick out his wrist, and the rod that he carries slides into his hand. It's just kind of a series of snakes coiled around each other, and their mouths collectively open, and a blade comes out. I'm, as you know, no stranger to stabbing those who need stabbing, but it's not all I can do.
that is a beautiful weapon. May I have a closer look?
Absolutely not.
That's a shame. That is gorgeous.
He doesn't like people to touch it.
I'll be honest with you, the only reason why I'm speaking with you is because he trusts you.
No, I was trying to cover for you, but remind me, Foos, was his reaction to magic when spells targeted him or when they were cast in general?
When they were cast in general.
Cool.
Because even if someone was healing someone, they still got shot.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like the more I see the dynamic of these three, I feel like Vogley's character is needed. It's like they're just dark men, just like bah, 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 bah. And then, like Vogley's character is like, oh, what's happening? The light of the room. Anyway, go ahead.
And that's understandable. I understand there are some parts of, some weaponry that I would not want to share with you either, so I completely understand. Although I do appreciate good craftsmanship when I see it. Did you have it commissioned, or was this maybe a not a hand-me-down? What is that word? Heirloom. There we are.
He's just staring daggers at her. Like
Different Garai in a different frame of mind might have stopped you. I got nothing.
No?
Anyway.
All right.
Amazing.
Just
fun
1,000-yard stare. No response.
quickly.
You okay?
He's fine. Our finances will become a hindrance for things such as purple worm venom unless we can acquire them through other means.
I can ask around.
Sure, the knife here's got sticky fingers.
You guessed right. Although I do like to be a little more on the what appears to be the up and up. So we can find a way around that.
You hear under his breath that you're all the same.
Do I actually hear that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who's we all?
He's at the old enough not to give a fuck anymore. Like that's just where he's at.
Moving forward, if we could. If we're going to acquire venom, we need to locate it first. So that means we need to acquire supplies in the form of ranged options, venom, and locate the man himself.
I can certainly get us started. I know, and by I mean Foos, I know a few places where we could potentially either get those items or get on our way to getting those items. So shall we start?
I can source some from a local perspective.
Wonderful. Let's start with yours. It sounds like your contact is a little more direct than mine.
I tried so hard to reel it in, but
He looks at Garai. Brother, I'm trying. You test me. I'll get them on my own. I'll meet you in front of the palace, let's say.
I'll say a time that makes sense.
All right, so right now it is just Thursday night. It's likely sometime around like 8 or 9 p.m. Obviously, if you want to like hatch your plan during the night, it's early in the evening, and you probably have time to kind of get a few things before you get started, or you can start in the morning, whatever you'd like. But yes, you guys can kind of discuss that. And while that's happening, we have people kind of doing different things. So we're not going to necessarily role play that out, but we'll see how successful you guys are based on how you're attempting to go about procuring those items. So I'll start with Nenners or Wachi. Wachi, is that it?
Waki.
Joaquin.
You can just call him Wak.
Wachi. Okay. Yeah, I love it. It's so cool. Okay. So how is he going about it?
Wak is gonna ask whoever the expert is on local wildlife where the most venomous snakes can be found.
Yeah, that is not.
Well, in my
Very
recent
hard.
researches into the local wildlife,
Oh, no.
I want no to come back. Can we see no?
You find a traveling minotaur who's like, I promised, I don't know what that means, but snakes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about snakes. But yes, go ahead and give me just a general persuasion check, just to see the contact that you find, because there are plenty of professional sort of wildlife or even sort of like flora, fauna experts around the city to find. And you are new to the area. That was whispered, but it's slowly loading in. Then there's starting off with a strong 2, with a +5 for 7 total.
These dice don't like.
The person you wind up speaking with seems concerned about the animals that you're going to be, getting the venom from, perhaps. It's sort of like, please don't kill them. They might be mean, but they're our friends, and you can find some here. They kind of detail a place outside of the city that's not terribly far, and you don't know the area well enough to kind of say like that seems good or bad. But if there's something that's there, you're a little concerned that it might not be as potent, and maybe that's both for the animal's safety and for yours. But
I think
this particular,
he would just like show Fang, like,
oh,
okay.
okay.
Don't worry about the safety. They are closer to me than I am to you.
Okay, you find yourself speaking with a sort of very large-eyed and like strangely kind of like homely standing and sitting bugbear woman who seems to be sort of like an animal tracker and lover of the area, and despite her size, just speaks in a very kind of high-pitched and almost gleeful voice. But after seeing your fangs, you see her kind of light up a little bit. Oh, so it's like, is this a cultural thing, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I guess you can call it that.
Okay. Sometimes your culture is mean to people? What are you doing? I'm just curious.
That's racist.
how is he?
Yeah, it is 100%. She was being...
All right, he's gonna do a wisdom check just to see. Okay, that's good. I'm keep whispering, but that's an 8.
That was a 10 minus 2.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
My friend needs help, and I'm doing the best I can to help him in the only way I can. I assure you, those snakes will not be harmed. In fact, I plan on feeding them.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
Full deception.
Yes.
Well, it's, if you think
no,
deception
it's fine,
makes
it's
more
fine.
sense,
Yeah,
then
no,
because it seems like you're being honest. Okay,
All
you
right.
have advantage, but we can keep that if you don't want to.
No, that's fine. I'm not gonna try to fish. We're good.
Yeah. All right. So you see the bugbear woman kind of like soften in her gaze. Okay. I'm sorry about what I said. If that was. Anyway.
It's fine.
Yeah.
No worries. I'm sure
there's-
you get your fair amount of misunderstandings.
almost always. But yeah, so I'm just gonna. Oh, thank you for gifting us some. Ben, you're awesome. Thanks very much. But she'll kind of pick up and turn around and come back with like a smaller map. So here's the city, and the oasis is on this side, and on the opposite side, there's a bit of a nest. Where there's a bunch of different sort of lizards and stuff. You have to be careful. There have been reports of sandworms in the area too, so just keep clear of that. But otherwise, you'll find many potent and dangerous venomous creatures there.
The sandworms, they're not purple, are they?
No, I don't believe so. Being sand, they are mostly sort of brown.
I was just 2 words. Anyway, thank you. And he'll slide her, let's say 3 gold for her information and time.
Komethi, sir.
Kwamethi.
Yeah, that's a new thing for him. But she takes the gold and seems very happy about it. Thank you again for another gifted sub. Oh my goodness. Razabataz, the 2 of you. Thank you both so much.
Yay!
And yes, Maya. Hello, Maya. Nender's got rid of his hair.
Papaya.
But yes, so you have the directions to go find your to go harvest some venom. Go ahead and give me a survival check as you head off in that direction. But you're also relieved is not terribly far away. Oh my gosh. I need a survival check from you, Nenders.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're okay.
Survival.
Don't worry.
Let's see. Oh,
It's
I'm
okay.
fantastic at that. You said I had advantage, right?
You know what? Actually, I didn't say that, but you have directions. You know what you're looking for. I will give you advantage on this.
Great, because it's a -2.
Oh, -2. Oh shit, those are 2 19s.
Oh, let's go.
Oh,
All right.
baby. All right. While you are out there, you are very relieved to find out that she did set you in the correct direction, and it's extremely happy to sort of see a number of reptiles, be it snakes, or even a few sort of lizards that seem to have a venom that could be extracted from their claws, and even some others that can have venom extracted from their spines or tails. You find yourself about 3 different kinds of poisons, and I will give you the details on each of those in a bit. But you are successful in your poison endeavors, we will say. But I will give you those details in just a moment. So, was there anything else you were going to do?
I mean, feed them, obviously, but
Yeah.
that'd be it.
As
And
you
I do
did
have
mention.
animal friendship due to my race that I can use exclusively on snakes.
Yeah,
Snake
that's
is
why I was. You don't have to roll
yeah.
for the animal stuff because
Gotcha.
the snakes especially would be. Oh my god, thank you.
What?
Feed the snakes. Yeah, Ben loves snakes too. Thank you again for the sub.
Yeah.
You're very, very
Yeah.
kind and generous. Ben.
But yeah, that's it.
snakes
That's
in
his
general.
mission. Just get some venom, come back, go from there.
That's awesome. Okay, so you're doing that, and you are successful, thankfully. Vogley,
Hey.
what is she doing? What is she doing to get ready? Was she gathering? What's up?
So based on what the descriptions were, she is going to get herself a little poison.
Okay.
What she knows of is both strong and just like local, based on what she knows about or what she can find out, and maybe a couple of smoke bombs or something that can help. Oh my god, all of these subs, nice guys.
Oh my god, you're so
Wow,
kind.
thank you.
Thank you.
So anything else that can
Thanks,
cause
man.
a distraction, like a loud noise or like a lot of lights, maybe cause something that has the appearance of fire but is not actually a fire.
Okay. You are able to procure a smoke grenade.
Yes.
Depending on how much you I mean, we're not gonna kind of put money on any of these things currently, just because through your contacts or just through kind of functioning in the city, you can afford things. If you can't, I will obviously let you know.
Right.
But getting a smoke grenade, excuse me, is not a problem. So I will be sending you that information in just a sec.
Thank you. Also, I realized I never asked you when we were building this character how much money I could have. So that was my bad.
Oh, it's irrelevant. It's fine. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
You have all the money.
I would love to have all the money. That would make Vogley very happy.
Yeah, this is the smoke thing is pretty expensive, just to let you know. So I'm gonna give you one essentially. It is a magic item, and you likely have to drop by the midnight scale.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys always talk to about her being there. It is her shop, you're not wrong. But yeah, the shop is called the Midnight Scale.
Midnight Scale. So yeah, she's just gonna check Kurugu up, ask her how she's doing.
Yes. Treat yourselves.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, give her anything that she has asked for, because she does favors for everybody and gets stuff in return. All that jazz. And just is general very, very happy. Okay, so she's gonna do that, and then whatever kind of distraction-oriented items she could also get that could fulfill the request, because she knows that they both have to lose people and also make them look at other locations. So,
okay. So what kind of distraction kind of thing though?
Oh, like what I was saying before, like something that could either make one item that maybe could make a loud noise, and then another item that could maybe be like a bright light. Yeah, or something that could make a bright light, or appear to set something on fire, or something, just the appearance or the illusion of.
Okay. There are plenty of things that might be able to make like allow you to cast, say, a minor illusion, to make a noise, like a thaumaturgy or things like that. Things that are sort of like cantrip based spells as well. But not necessarily. I don't know if I have like an item that would do that specifically. Okay. Everyone's cheering. Thank you. How much is left? I think hype train achieved. There it is. Hype train coming.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. That's awesome. That's so cool. Thank you guys.
Oh yeah, we gotta make Randy proud.
Yeah, that is awesome. Which left we need to activate it. We need another person rather than the amount, I think. Oh shit! Oh my goodness!
Whoa! You guys are awesome tonight. Holy.
I'm gonna double check just to make sure that I'm not like kooky and I don't know what this.
We reached it! Yay!
Did we?
You did! The lizards! That's hilarious.
This is perfect. It's just a bunch of walkies stuff. It's awesome. I love it. I love
it. Stuff.
Yay! Thank you. Yeah,
thank you guys.
She's just purchasing things. Okay, so you are getting, as an action, you can throw this this bomb basically.
Yes.
All right, so I'll give you that. I don't understand what's happening, but I like confetti. I do too. So basically, just so you know, a hype trade is like if you get a bunch of subscriptions and like cheers in a certain amount of time, it basically is like hype train, which is like super exciting and nice for the channel, and it's all support, which is so nice, and it's very, very friendly. So thank you very much for doing all that.
I don't even know how you get that. Oh, there's the bit thing. There you go. And you get bits.
Okay, so that's for that thing. I'm just gonna keep that there. Okay, let me see. Actually, I will say, for the purposes of this, and also for your, I believe there is one. I'm just gonna
take your time. And as we wait, we could potentially have an ad, but I don't know what kind of ad we could have now. Other than maybe some food. Like, do you guys like food? I like food. Food is great. I like to cook. Nenners often gives me very good pointers on cooking food and making it taste good. So thank you, Nenners. And I appreciate that. Recipes in chat, you guys.
Bogly, in addition to your the smoke stuff that you found, we're also going to give you a wand of pyrotechnics.
Yes!
So you can make some noise with that as well.
Yes!
I'm gonna drag that out so you can see.
I want this thing in real life. I'm not kidding.
I'm sure you do. I'm going to share it with you. Make sure you read it so you understand what it does. But I should have just shared that with you now.
My brain read that as wand of polytechnics. I know it's pyrotechnics. It's not polytechnics.
I know. I genuinely did the same thing when I saw it, so you are not alone. And then here's also. Oh wait, no. This is the smoke bomb, but I put it all in the GM stuff, so you can't see anything. Hold on.
Well, it just popped up for me. The thing popped up with no description.
Yeah, it should have popped up, but there should have been no description, so you might need to leave it. Since Ryland isn't screaming from upstairs, I had to come listen so my routine wasn't messed up. Aww!
Yay!
That's kind of adorable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryland is usually playing with us today on Saturdays. So, yeah. Thank you for hanging out with us. Hope you're having a good time. And I appreciate the DM inspiration, so thank you. Okay, so you grabbed that. You grabbed that. Those items essentially.
Okay. Thank you.
I need to get you your poisons. And Garai, is there anything that you are going to attempt to do? I know you kind of tailed, but if there's any attempt to.
My plan to avoid that is to go internally. Have to not leave the palace grounds.
Right, just
because.
Hey. You guys are being too kind. What's going on? Thank you.
What?
They want to keep the hype train going, and we appreciate it.
Wow.
We absolutely do. Thank you so much.
Wow, you guys.
Oh man. No, you just
I'm
got inspiration.
Here, Maya.
Wow.
Yeah, let's go.
I don't even know. Like, wow.
Inspiring the players. Get out of here. We don't need it.
Yeah, we need it.
We don't need it.
Yes, we do. You stop that right now.
All right, Joe. I love your spirit. I love the just kind of stiff upper lip thing we got going. You and I both know we're like the worst rollers.
That's true, and that's
possibly
okay.
in this hemisphere.
That's part of it. There's a
we need all
twofold.
the help we can get.
Struggle is good, and B, I'm Garai. I'm gonna crit like 10 times and get 18.
Don't say that now. Oh no.
So,
oh God.
I'm in the one time. I'm in the one ooze that lets me roll well, and that ooze is called Garai. I'm gonna go.
We need Kit, and we need his prayers. Kit, where the hell are you? Get
We don't
on
need.
here.
We don't need kiss prayers.
Please?
I don't need
Yes, we
kids
do.
always hitting with sharpshooter energy. I don't need it.
No, we do. We do. We definitely do. I need Kit here. Kit!
Anyway, Garai, so you're going internally
to the armory. Because if I remember correctly, my armor and weapon and general body were all fucked to shit. So I need new gear.
Correct. All right.
And I assume they gave me the shit I had, so.
Yeah, they very much supplied you with kind of like general stuff. Like there's nothing
Sure, I didn't think
incredible.
It was doesn't need to be.
But if there's, oh my god, you guys, there's like a sub-fight happening.
I just see a wall. Oh my god.
It's just so many. Oh my god, Ben, too kind. Oh my goodness. Everybody remember that Ben is so kind and so nice.
Thank you, Ben.
He's my favorite because he gave me inspiration too, so I will take it. Thank you guys.
Ben, I don't know you. Hello.
Don't feed the food.
Genuinely too kind. Thank you. Do feed the foos. She enjoys it. She likes it very much.
Give inspirations to DMs. They're long suffering. Yeah, we'll see what they're willing to hook me up with.
Okay. Is there anything in particular that you're going to ask for? Like, say, a better weapon, or because I think you have a +1 scimitar right now, right?
Yeah. I
okay,
do.
right. So if there's anything you want, like, specifically to upgrade, or
Yes, I don't know what they got. You know.
I will just mention, as you're coming up to sort of the armory, there do seem to be a lot of people sort of coming in and out. Sometimes you'll see some guards kind of getting a few things and then walking back out. But as it is late, it is down to kind of, there's usually about 3 tables worth of with a person at each of those tables stationed essentially, who kind of, it's almost like a coat check situation where you can see racks of weapons and gear that are kind of behind these tables, but 3 people usually attending at a time. Currently it's down to 1 just because it is late night, but it doesn't seem to close. And the only person that seems to be there is a halfling woman with sort of like almost what looks like a blacksmith's apron on, and it's sort of like a sort of scuffed and dirty shirt underneath it. But as you kind of walk up to the station, you see her look up at you.
Oh, hi. What do you need?
Well, I'm just gonna put like my ruined armor on a table.
Oh, did you do that?
It was done to me.
Ew.
Turns out, if you're going to be helping the preventers, you might get into some scrapes. So I was
I've
hoping we
heard.
had something possibly a little more resilient.
Huh. All right. Well, this kind of just looks like run-of-the-mill things. I mean, I could get you something. It could be on loan. A magic version similar to this.
Well, you stop me right now if I wouldn't know about this particular magic item, and I'll just shut my mouth. But it is an uncommon one, so I don't think it's crazy talk.
No, it's not going to be. It's likely going to be like just for meta purposes, like a studded leather +1 or something.
All right. Well, then I'm
simply
going to
magical
ignore
and-
what I just said. So +1, I'm just here to make sure I have armor.
Correct.
We'll just add a +1 to what's on my sheet. And honestly, with the shield I've got, that's not a bad armor total.
Yeah.
So we'll swap that out. I'll see if I can on loan get like a longbow and some arrows.
Good.
Oh, that's totally fine. What are you doing?
She's saying this as she's like putting them down in front of you.
At the moment, nothing. This preventers are doing whatever they're doing for the next couple days, but I have a feeling I'm going to get dragged back into it.
Also, this is to prepare to meet with them again?
At some point.
Go ahead and roll me a deception check. Oh!
Ripple.
You see her eyes kind of narrow and.
Well, I mean, do you want to wait for them to come back, maybe? And that way, you know, you can see if maybe they need something.
You can see like concern kind of like seeping into her expression. She's like, it's late and you are asking for a ton of gear, essentially.
Last time they showed up, it was a moment's notice kind of thing, so I just want to be prepared. I don't plan on leaving the palace tonight, so you don't have to worry about that.
You got to train in your armor. You got to get used to it, you know.
All right. Well, you know, if you say you're not leaving the palace, and you know that hopefully that's the case. But the armor's on loan, so you know, just get that back to us in like a week or whenever. And if not, if you need an extension, just come back and we can adjust that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Very cautiously.
And then I'm gonna see if I can find like storerooms and shit that aren't necessarily manned. I didn't think there would be armor in a closet that I could just take, so I stopped here first.
I will say, as your actually, what's your passive perception?
Passive perception 17.
Oh shit, that's pretty good. Okay, I don't know why that surprised the fuck out of me. I built that character and I'm like, don't know. But as you're walking out, you hear her calling one of the guards as you're leaving. But that's essentially all you pick up.
And we're not even out the palace and they're on to us.
And he even said, I'm gonna stay in the palace, so everything seems good.
I mean, I don't plan on leaving tonight. I thought we were leaving in the morning, but if I lied, well, then I lied. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, no, it's not even about like lying or not, but she's just like, okay, like just kind of not sure what's going on. So you said you're going to be looking at storerooms that are unmanned, I think.
Basically, I'm just going to see if I can't work my way in amongst the peoples and just see if I can't go through and just take some stuff. Maybe it's from people's personal shit. I don't. If there's just guards that in a Foot Locker might just have like an extra healing potion that they were saving for a rainy day, mine. If they had just an extra like oil of sharpness, mine. Whatever I can find.
Gotcha. All right, so you're gonna have to essentially sneak into a place such as this, and you've been living in the palace for a few days now, so like you kind of know your way, but it is a bit wonky just because it is expanded on the inside. You know, the arcane masters that are the kings have made sure that like it's not exactly an easy floor plan to remember. So I'll just ask for. It's weird to ask for a survival check for like an indoor maze, but I feel like that's kind of what we'll need. So you have to kind of find out where you're gonna go, and then after that, you might need a stealth check here or there just to see if you can get what you need.
Just let me bring up my cheat sheet and put all the random things I have resistances or advantages on.
Oh, you got cheat sheet? That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not this particular thing, but I forgot about this other thing, and it could come in handy. So we're gonna start by doing that.
Wow.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's what we like to call pretty nice roll.
That's what we like to call big Garai energy. Okay, so you haven't exactly been on this end of the palace, but you are kind of just by the way the traffic is moving and where things were going. Thankfully, because you were by the armory, you were walking by some of the palace guards, and they were walking, and you were able to kind of follow a few of them back in a way that thankfully wasn't overt, to find out that, yeah, there's probably some kind of locker room situation, or maybe there's an armory where they take off their things, whatever it might be. But you do recognize where it is. So you can go ahead and give me either a deception or a stealth check if you're trying to kind of infiltrate and see what you can find.
I know which one of those I like better.
Natural 6. So we're finally showing a little bit of. Let me just check something. All right, so you make it into what seems to be essentially like the locker room for these palace guards. And if there's not a lot of traffic here, but it is a very large room. So Garai, you find yourself kind of weaving your way through some of the aisles and getting into a particular row where nobody seems to be there. There's still kind of chatter along the rows and aisles beside you, but at the moment you're in one that is unmanned. There do seem to be sort of locked safes of some kind with armor and various weapons that are hung for each sort of closet in a way for each of these guards. But you can take a look around if you'd like, in which case I might ask for a perception or investigation. If you're going quick, I will say, if you're going quick, that means it's a perception check, and regardless of that, going quickly means that it will lessen your chance of being caught. If you stay to kind of investigate...
Oh, I'm not investigating nothing.
Okay,
this is very much, we'll get what I get. This is...
Gotcha. Go for it. Okay, so that's a perception check. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hoo-wee! All right. Nestled in like some of the sort of safes that you find, there is one particular safe that looks like it's a little bit bigger than the others, and even the locker kind of space looks a little bit larger than the others. The armor looks a little nicer. This might be maybe like a step up from one of the palace guards. Maybe not guard captain, but this one looks important. And even so, like, there also seem to be smaller sort of like daggers that look beautiful, but also maybe magical as well. But the safe underneath it has caught your attention for sure, because that looks very, very nice.
All right, well, daggers can go into a pocket, and that takes like moments of time before I look at this here safe.
So mark down that you have 2 + 1 daggers.
Nifty.
And one. Hold on, let me make sure I'm not gonna say this wrong real quick. Oh jeez, pardon me. I'm trying not to say something terrible. Okay, and 1 dagger of warning.
Even better.
So you pick those up?
And tell me what this is safe. Talk to me. Talk to me, Goose.
It does seem to have a lock on it. It seems a little simple, but the other lockers seem to have simpler locks. This one seems a little more I guess sophisticated, if you had to guess. It's possible to unlock it, but you might need some tools or whatever to do so.
Oh, well, here's the question. Because my sheet came with the equipment, armor, shield, weapon. But
Yes.
the proficiency for thieves' tools is there. So would I have had some? If I would not have had some, then that's just we move on to the next idea. But if I would have had some,
I don't know. Like, I feel like Garai would have procured some, knowing that he was going to be doing some stuff. And even if that meant like when he was with the preventers or whatever. So I would say you have some. Yes.
then let's put them to good use.
Yeah.
Why not?
Let's go. Let's go.
So let's click on this here proficiency button.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
I'm just gonna leave the room. Effortlessly pops the lock right open, and as soon as it kind of springs open, you're doing, I imagine, this kind of quickly, so you immediately notice the jostling of liquids in there, and you find about 4 different health potions that at the moment I'm gonna say you don't know what they are, just because I imagine you're just grabbing a pile of gold towards the back.
I do not touch the gold.
Okay, as well as a necklace of some kind that likely seems magical, but you're not entirely sure what that is.
I will take it on the off chance it is, and if it's not, I will eventually sneak my way back in here and
Again, put it back. Sounds good. All right, but it does seem nice. It's almost kind of like almost like a backwards choker, if you can imagine it. Like, it kind of cuffs around the back of the neck, and then it just sort of dangles. But it is clearly meant to sort of like sit on the neck as a necklace. But otherwise, it looks very nice and likely magical. So you grabbed the potions, which were 4, which all seem to be red in color. So you're imagining they're health potions of some kind, but you don't know exactly which one's which yet. And you have the necklace, and you're leaving the gold. So are you jetting after this, or is there anything else?
I'm gonna relock it, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Close it, lock it, you get right out. Not a problem. So, the 3 of you, with your successful endeavors and such, were you going to meet outside of the palace the next sort of morning or whenever you were ready, or would you like to have met like the night before to kind of see what you guys found, essentially?
I think that would be a good thing, just to get on the same page.
My thought was to meet to kind of go over it all, and then
Sure.
probably actually do the thing the following night, rather than in the middle of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah,
we
that
could-
is no problem.
We could meet in the morning.
Sounds good. So we'll say that you guys have a chance to meet, and especially if you're going to do it like the next night or so, like there's plenty of time for you guys to meet and possibly get or do something else in the meantime. But we will say at least the crowds. Anyway, the team, after going out and grabbing various items, you guys get to meet again and discuss what you have found.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Can I?
What's that?
I'm
You-
not sure to think. I don't think he would enjoy spending the night in the palace.
Sure. Oh, God.
So he's gonna get a hotel somewhere.
Cozy cat.
But he is going to try to, as coyly as possible, ask around the neighborhood of
Okay.
where our target may be.
Asking about the musician, essentially.
Yeah, you see any weird things happen there? Just any strange deliveries, weird sounds.
Mhm.
I was looking to
Okay,
buy
so you're-
some real estate there, but I had some bad neighbors last time, so I'm just trying to get a feel. And
I
these
see.
realtors, they'll sell you anything, so I'm just trying to get like the local perspective.
Go ahead and roll a deception check.
Glad.
Gladly.
Oh, silent image.
It's
But,
not an advantage, but we'll take the
Yeah.
24. Look at you guys. What's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can go ahead and essentially reach out to some of the neighbors in the area. And as you're expecting, as you're kind of, greeting some of these people and they're getting a look at your outfit, your face, the way you carry yourself, I mean, you're not a terribly social person. But there are a few that are like, okay, I'm going to talk to you in hopes of ending this conversation as quickly as possible and getting you to leave. But you also, I think, just because of who you are, you would also hear kind of mentions of other Yuan-ti who have been spotted in the city, but don't dress the way you dress. So they're kind of wondering if you're part of the same group, and they seem to be wonderful, but they're not sure about you. But there's a lot of hesitance thrown in your direction. However, there are a few that... There's one in particular, a family that seems to be very well off, and as the wife seems to answer the door, just kind of flippantly seems to answer all of your questions as if she's talking to her neighbor and kind of gossiping with you, and is like, oh my god, you wouldn't believe. Sometimes we hear people coming down the street at all hours of the night, and suddenly it just stops. Every time I try and get my husband to come to the door and hear the sounds so he can confirm what I'm hearing, it just stops. I don't know where the hell it goes, but it always makes me look crazy, and I really don't appreciate it. So if you can even find out, what that is, and, I can report it, because every time I report it again, nothing's there, and I don't know what's going on, but I promise it's going in that direction. And she kind of points towards... like two of the buildings that are like at the edge of the block that are also kind of a good 200 feet away from the oasis, but otherwise pretty close.
He'll make note of that. How many, ma'am, would you say are trouncing up and down the street and disrupting you?
Oh my gosh, at least a handful, maybe 12, but I don't know, a decent amount, I would say. And it's always really quick and then gone.
I'll see what I can do about that. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Are you working with the guard?
Like I said, I'm working in the area to get some more, a home here to put down roots, and I have some associates within the guard who might be able to assist.
Oh, that'd be great. Other than that, this is a wonderful place. You're gonna love it.
Oh, excellent. I would love to be your neighbor.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
I'm gonna say with your 24 deception, the only thing you get is perfect. Goodbye, neighbor. Just lets you go off with that information.
Kind of wipes the ick off himself. Oh, buddy, old pal, the things I do for you. And,
Well then.
Won't you be my neighbor?
We'll
There you go,
get
Joe.
information and try to. If there's a place of knowledge, he would see if there's any I don't know. I'm completely projecting here, but in a lot of towns, there's municipal plans that are publicly available, so you can see this home was built here, and then all the renovations, so zoning, all that lovely adult bullshit.
Mhm.
But he would try to look on the plans of that particular area, see if there's looking for any either points of interest, it connects directly into the infinite, or was a storeroom for explosives or something, anything that would they could use.
Okay, yeah. Interestingly enough, that would probably lead you back to the palace, as they keep everything there. And I feel like, I obviously, if we don't want this to be the case, but I feel like as you're coming back, you're watching Garai walk out of the guard room with everything's fine, just walking out of here. But as you're kind of coming in, what you're able to find, I'll tell you all the details. They're super annoying when he's gone. Oh no! By the way, Ben, did you see our emotes for your cats?
Yep.
We have the scared Thor here, and then the sneaky Loki. Anyway, he's part of the Void Cat gang, and apparently those two cats are acting up while he's gone. It's amazing. But yes, you're able to kind of make it back to the palace. If you're asking about it, how are you doing the same? Like, I would love to put down roots here and, get a better idea of the area. Or are you taking a different approach to kind of get your hands on these documents and stuff?
Oh, okay. Yeah, slightly different. He's gonna say he could have sworn he caught like a slight tilt to boot out whatever the fuck the guy's the Bobitch's building, and he was concerned about the construction and wants to see the records and kind of get a good idea of who last built it, when it was inspected, because these things, they sneak up on you. Those years really add up, so he wants to know, when it was last inspected, who built it, any kind of changes to the architecture, perhaps in a unofficial fashion, anything like that.
Love it. Go ahead and hit me with another deception check. Remember, it's not an advantage, so you might need to uncheck that.
I'm pretty sure I did.
I'm just making sure because the last one was. You're good either way. We're gonna use the first one. Fucking, you guys are killing it right now. It's very nice. Okay, so as you're talking to this, kind of seems to be sort of like a ledgerly gnome with like small little round glasses that sit at the edge of his nose. But as you're coming in, there's kind of like looks up from whatever he's reading, which seems to be some sort of map of the city. But after he gets your request, it's just, oh, so you're concerned about, sure. Let me get you some of that information. Who may I say is asking this for the ledger?
Waki, he says with probably too much pride.
Well, Waki. All right. So, and Waki.
Walk, if it's easier.
Sure, that is not a problem. All right, so I have your information here. Let me go. And he kind of like seems to rummage through a bunch of folders with like various folders and or various documents kind of in there. But eventually kind of pulls it out. Okay, so you wanted to know when it was built and who built it? Was that it?
Any modifications, zoning codes, any failed inspections?
I see. Let's see. Well, the first thing I'm reading on here is that they actually skipped their last inspection, which was about 6 months ago. Because of new building codes and renovations they seem to have done, they had passed the year prior and therefore did not need inspection. So in an error by the city, it seems, we sent someone to give a check-in, and they didn't need it. So they seem to be newly renovated and things, or at least something seemed to be added to it. I'm not sure, but it's an older building, but with some recent additions. I believe there was a balcony so they could enjoy the infinite from a distance and a few other homely things.
Using his arcane background, does that balcony look like it's designed to do something else?
Ooh. Arcana or investigation, I would say.
Investigation is a 2, Arcana is a 6, so that is not a hard decision.
2 and a 6. Okay, not bad. It's a little hard to tell, also just because like you're kind of getting all the facts together. So when you saw it, you weren't like studying it for that specifically. However, it was pretty big. Like the building itself was pretty sizable, but that balcony seemed to stretch from almost like one whole side of the building to the other whole side of the building almost. So I'm sure it could be for leisure, but there was likely a lot of effort that went in to make it the size and shape that it is.
Maybe that chatty knife ear can give us some answers on that one.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm speaking to myself. I apologize. Horrible habit. This is
sure.
great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being a kind citizen, Cormethi, good sir.
He's gonna put a gold on the table and slide it to him.
Our
For your time.
services are free. No, our service. And he kind of like tries to push it back in your direction.
I insist.
Oh, all right. Have a good night. just like put the documents away.
They really twisted his arm there.
He tried, but all right. Is there anything anyone else wants to kind of investigate before you guys kind of reconvene? Because if not, I think this is probably a good time. Hydrate. I was gonna say it's a good
Fuck, I
time
ran
for a
out.
break.
I don't
I
have a
ran out.
beverage. When we come back from the break that's about to happen, I will drink on camera because I owe you one now.
Yes.
I did want to ask because I believe when I talked to the guard at the time of the wall incident, they mentioned knowing what I was talking about.
The metallic streak, essentially.
Not just the minister. I thought they had said like they were familiar with the area I was saying there was a problem. Like they had heard reports or rumors, or maybe I'm making stuff up.
It wasn't that specific area. They were reporting like sound outages around the city. So like it was a combination of like there were some strange things happening and they saw that at the same time. So they were like, there's a lot of things going on and we don't know.
Gotcha.
So,
I will see if I can find the guard I talked to because I did point in the general direction and tell them they had to go look at it, and they said they would. So maybe they lied to me, or maybe they didn't find anything, or maybe they've got some information. So I will see if I can find whomever.
Okay, that
I'd
was
talk
a
to.
city guard, not a palace guard. So you would have to leave.
I'll be leaving, but I
Okay,
will do that in the morning so that I technically did not lie when I said I wasn't leaving the palace tonight or anything.
Oh Lord.
I can't
That's
lie
fine.
well, but I can avoid technical lies.
Correct, exactly. I love it. All right, so we'll do that. We'll actually pick up with that, I think, because I drank a lot of tea and some water here. So
Yep.
we're gonna take our quick break. It's 10:33. Let's be back by 10:40. We'll say. So we're gonna go.
Yes.
Thank you again, everybody. You're amazing and very generous, and thank you so much. But we'll be
Yeah,
back
thank
in a
you
little
very
bit.
much.
So bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
5.
5. We are back. Thank you so much, the Dirty RPG Rollers RPG, the Dirty RPG. Sorry,
Dirty
Rollers
RPG.
I did it. Thank you so much for the raid while we were on break. We very much appreciate it. We've been having a really kind of fun night, and it's awesome. I hope you guys had an awesome stream too. I don't know if was tonight one of your D&D nights. I don't remember, but I hope you had a good time, and I hope it was fun. These 3 are essentially kind of working on something that's not quite a heist, but is something that is
I mean, call it what it is. It's an assassination. I mean,
it's an assassination. They're planning an
murder
assassination.
heist.
we're
Yeah.
absolutely planning to murder this guy.
Yeah, that's what's happening right now.
Killed my boy twice and his daughter. He's for sure going down.
He's
Insomnia.
gonna be super dead.
Super dead. We're trying to go for super dead right now. We're messing with the Neverwinter MMO tonight. Cool. Oh man. Thank you for the follow very much. We played Neverwinter for a little bit. Anyway, we are going to get back into this with the team having done a few things. Garai, though, you were saying you wanted to kind of see if you can talk to that guard that you ran into the night before. No, I think it's like a night and a half before. Whatever. The time in which you encountered the assassin that you are now tracking. So you're attempting to find him so you can ask him a few questions. How are you going about attempting to find him? Are you going back to kind of where you saw him, or going to sort of like a guard station, maybe asking around?
I will go to whatever guard station I can find closest to that neighborhood and assume that's where he's from. I know for a fact I didn't get his name because I could not have been fucked at the time. So,
Yep, correct. So you're gonna go there and just like vaguely describe him. Yeah, that's no problem. You can finding any of the guard stations, not an issue at all. But while you're there, you're essentially kind of, when you walk in, it's very much as you expect, sort of like it acts as a place to sort of house any guards that might be on break, put anyone in a prison cell if it needs to be very brief, gather any intel or things like that. So it has a multi-function sort of office situation. But as you're walking in, there is a man that's sort of behind the desk who stands up and, do you need something? Oh. And you see like recognition kind of flash across his face. Hi, Kometi. What can I do for you?
So Joe is 13, and I don't know why it threw me off.
He's 13 years old.
I don't have the context. I, a day or two ago, was talking to a number of guards further up the street and had told them about kind of some untoward activity. And, well, at the time I was working with preventers and will be again, so I was hoping to see if there was if anything came of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he came back and came to report on what happened to you, and like, for as he's saying, Joe is the manliest 13-year-old this side of D&D. As he's saying this, you can see sort of the professional side of him sort of melt away, and a bit more of a casual sort of way of speaking come over him. Yeah, man, we just wanted to make sure that you were okay. There were a lot of rumors about, and I mean, you were dead, and he came back, and he just mostly talked about how you seem to be fighting a magic thing that flew through the air faster than anyone could see, really. I mean, they sent the other group of guards to go check it out, but I mean, nobody else reported on a magic flying metal thing, so I don't really know if anything else came about it. Did you need something?
Well, I was trying to find out more about where it might have gone to. I don't know if there's any known spots in that area where there's likely criminal activity, but
I mean, it's kind of the nicer end, of this part of the city in way. Not a lot of, I don't know, crime around here, at least.
all right. If you're familiar with the neighborhood that I'm referring to, is there I guess the nicest house or largest might be the likeliest.
Are you gonna go check?
Me now? No. This is, from what I understand, the preventers will be busy for a few days at least. But anything I can tell them.
Roll a deception check.
See what I mean? Nobody just takes your name carte blanche because they know you're not good enough.
Exactly.
It'll be fine.
It will be.
Oh my god, dude! What the fuck? That's big guy energy right here. Okay. As you say that, like again, almost everybody who's kind of recognized you or kind of known a little bit about you has been kind of fraught with concern. And this man, it seemed to kind of build the more you were talking. And the peak was this question. And as you're kind of mentioning the preventers and, you know, trying to almost prepare for when they're ready for it, you watch a lot of that tension just kind of ease out of his figure. And yeah, then I would suggest a few of those by closest to the shoreline of the oasis. There's those are the biggest and the nicest, really. And to be honest, if it went in that direction, not a lot of people necessarily walk around there, really. You know, people are either by the oasis or in their own homes, so not a lot of traffic going that way. But that one block, you know, and like he kind of takes out a smaller map of like the different sort of sections of the city, and he pulls out one for that one. It sort of like highlights a block where there seem to be about 4 buildings that make up that entire block that faces the oasis. If it's any of them, I guess, if you're looking for sort of like the bigger ones that are around there, then I think one of those maybe.
Well, it's a start, and I'm sure they'll have ways of getting further into the question that are beyond me, but I'll tell them what we've got.
Yeah. Stay safe.
Oh, safer than you up in the palace. You keep your eyes peeled.
That's true, right? You're living there. I would say it must be nice, but yeah, I'm really sorry about everything.
Just gonna kind of nod and shrug and then leave.
Fuck right off.
I
And you
don't
hear
got more energy to pretend to be nice than that.
you hear shuffling as he's kind of like putting those documents away and such. But all right, anything else anybody needs to get done or ask questions about or preparing in any way? All right, sounds good.
Well,
so we can have you guys.
actually, sorry,
Sure.
I just thought of something.
you're
So, I think Ingza would also want to look, you know, just ask around a little bit about, you know, from the information that she has just gleaned, and ask some of her more trusted community members, I guess you could say, for information on what they heard about this creature or the music that it has been playing throughout the city, and see if she can get any more ideas or hints.
Okay. Like what part, I guess, or what kind of contact would you be reaching out for? Because of course you do know plenty of people here, but like who, like what groups of people do you find yourself leaning towards for this, or in an area maybe? What?
Good point.
What are you thinking?
People with who are very friendly with lots of connections. I'm almost thinking of a oh god, I know her name. Begins with an M.
Mhm.
She has Waku.
Mukami.
Yup.
Mukami. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Mukami. Like people like Mukami who are very gregarious, outgoing, and can generally, you know, get information, I guess, out of other people in a casual sort of way.
So
And
like likely community, not pillars,
Yeah.
but people who more or less
Right.
kind of traffic a lot of people coming in and chatting and stuff. Sure.
Exactly.
Go ahead and roll me. Well, actually, we could say that you but you speak with Mukami because she is obviously one to kind of know what's going on.
Woo.
I will say this is likely the morning or so because she's not open all night long.
Right.
But when the morning comes to and you're, kind of tapping somewhere where your contacts, you head on over to Mukami's Trinkets, the general goods store with a little bit of extra flair on most of her products, but with her very kooky owl bear, whose eyes never seem to look at the same direction. As you step in, it's early enough to not have the whole place super busy, but when you walk in, she kind of picks up her head and immediately recognizes you from behind the counter. Oh my goodness! Good morning! I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, Mukami, how are you?
Oh, bring it in. Come
Yes.
She like immediately pulls you in for a hug.
Very excited.
So, what do you need? Can I get you anything?
Well, I'm not sure if you can get me anything at the moment. I'm going to browse as per usual as we talk. But, I've been hearing some interesting things, and I wanted to know your opinion on this because this sounded so far out of what I have heard before that I don't even believe it. So,
Okay.
Yeah, here's the thing. So, I have been hearing that people are hearing violin music and not seeing the person or the band or whatever that is actually generating the sound. I also heard of,
I think, and as she starts talking, she slips into Thieves' Cant with you.
oh,
I think I know what you're talking about, but it's kind of still a little strange in some places, at least from what I've heard. I have noticed, at least from the people who kind of seem to be spreading the rumors around, is that it doesn't seem to be in one place in particular. It kind of seems to be in, I don't know, no patterns that I can recognize across the city, but almost always at night, interestingly enough. It never really happens during the day very much, at least from what I've heard. Sometimes it interrupts people's sleep.
Well, that certainly, and she responds in Thieves' Cant. Well, obviously that sounds like nefarious, obviously. What else would you be doing at night? For heaven's sake.
But playing the violin, obviously.
Yeah, serenading people underneath their balconies for love. Apparently so many people as this Casanova has. I have no idea. Anyway,
Well,
so there's that. Sorry, go ahead.
Did you intend on finding said Casanova?
I'm thinking about it, because I think this Casanova, whoever he is playing violin in the middle of the night, seems to not only be disturbing people's rest, but also maybe connected with someone who is actually harming people. And and that's the other part. So I have also been hearing the preventers have been going after this person, whoever it is, and it seems like this person may be the same person who tends to be able to sneak around very well, can move really fast. So this person not only plays music very well, but also apparently is faster than anything anybody's ever seen. So have you heard about that? I mean,
you know me. I like to chat quite a bit. There was mention of strange things happening,
And she kind of motions, or not motions, but no, she does motion, sorry, towards a different part of the city that is outside of the store, but kind of with her head. There are a few people who are inside, so she's trying not to be overt about where she's pointing, but
there was something that seemed to have gone down, I think a night or two ago, that everyone's, well, not talking about, but everyone's kind of scared. Were you around during the sound outages?
oh, are they related?
I don't know, but that happened at the same time that people started kind of worrying about that. Someone swore they could have seen something happening on a rooftop, but a fight, I think.
Well, considering what the preventers have been up to, it's probably them, and it's probably whatever is either now not just a musician, but somebody who is manipulating sound or something like that.
Well, it works with the sound outages. There were people around the city. Didn't hit me in my store, but apparently about
Goodness.
4 or 5 blocks down, I think.
They
said
Okay.
they just couldn't hear anything outside of their house. So
Mhm.
they were inside their house the whole time and they thought everything was fine. But they realized when they looked out the window, they couldn't hear their like traffic or any people talking or any of the camels or anything. They couldn't hear anything.
That's so weird. So it fell on their house. Nothing happened to them in their house, right?
No. All of the sound outages reports, at least, nothing happened. Everyone was safe, just confused.
Ah. What's so special about those people? I mean, are they all the same?
The locations that I saw were all, it seemed mostly residential. They didn't seem to hit any businesses or even the marketplace. Obviously nowhere near the palace. That thing has so many wards, there's no way.
Right?
But I don't know.
I get itchy just going near that place. Anyway, so I mean, all right, so residential. So I'm sort of thinking that if it's residential, it's not anywhere near the hustle and bustle. So it has to do. I don't know. I feel like if you wanted to do residential and you wanted to drop extra noise on top of that, drop a ball of silence or whatever it is on top of that, like it's already a quiet area. Why would anybody want to do that? It's so weird.
The worst thing is it's the hardest thing to track. If it were magic, maybe it would leave some residue and we can see who cast it, but they also seem to last for hours. So I don't know what to make of it. But
It's not even magic?
if it's a spell of some kind, nobody seems to be able to track it, which is really annoying.
Yeah. So all right. So like a few blocks down this way, is it near the Infinite at all?
Nope. Just
In the other
kind
way.
of parallel. Not really. No, you're not really going towards it if you go towards where that sound outage is.
Okay.
At least the closest one.
Okay. Well, anyway, so I actually also brought something for Waku, and she, brings out a little like paper sack, and it has some like dry whatever Waku likes, like dried meats of some kind.
That's totally fine.
And she's gonna be like, can I give some to Waku? I would love to.
You absolutely can. Waku already had her breakfast, but her bottomless belly just seems to eat whatever she wants. So, Waku, you're in for a treat.
And she kind of reaches over to kind of shake her owlbear awake, who was sleeping, but with her eyes open, it seemed. But after the good shake, there's just kind of a very strange, like groan of a noise coming from this giant creature that kind of lumbers up. And because we've shared this is the first thing that popped into my brain. You know that gif of those like two, I think they're like chihuahuas in like the car window where one of them pops up and is very happy and the other one's like, ugh.
That's
Like,
my favorite one. Yes.
That's very much what this owlbear is doing as it like wakes up and looks in your direction. And again, the eyes off, but like the very wide beak just kind of opens for a moment and seems ready to receive any treat that is going to be given to her.
I promise you, my little baby, this is worth it. It's worth it. Come here, let me give you some scritches. And then she, just feeds Waku one at a time very slowly and gives her scritches underneath her chin.
Who very happily eats it along the way.
Mhm.
And as that happens, Mukami kind of details a few more things to you, just kind of in reference to like sound, and in that area, and that the guards seem to be particularly on edge about it. Not necessarily just the ones in this area, but like across the board. There seems to have been orders that the second any kind of sound disruption happens, that they have to either report or go investigate, but not actually say anything, or not say anything, but not engage is what I'm trying to say immediately, but just sort of like report, make note of it immediately. Someone needs to know out the gate. And they also like it's caused a little bit of tension just because if a commoner makes perhaps a strange sound, like even if they drop like a big pan or something and that makes a weird distorted sound, there are times where guards came rushing over to find out what was going on. And like thankfully there hasn't been any like horrible amounts of confusion or disruption, but it is something that is noticeable.
Okay. Well, she's gonna say I'm responsible. I don't blame them for being, all wound up like that over something so weird. It just, I would be that way too. I'm kind of feeling that way, actually.
Yeah. Well, that being said, whatever you're going to be doing in the next few days, I suggest you don't make a lot of strange noises. Guards just might come sniffing in your direction, and you don't need that.
Well, you know me. I tend to be a little more on the quiet side than most people.
For the most part, but we'll have our off days, right?
Fair point. Fair point. I tend, I don't know. I've been feeling pretty good lately. So, I'm actually I'm feeling good about this. So.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And as she's saying that, there's a loud woomph from beside you as Waku just kind of seems to fall back over and go back to sleep in her spot beside Mukami.
Anyway, was there anything else I needed to get you? Because around here.
Not a problem. So, and then she goes back into comment. I'm not sure. I might pick up, and she's gonna look at some of the shelves and just see if there's, what are those called? The small little ball bearings that you.
Ball bearings. Ball bearings. Yeah.
Actual ball. I thought there was
Well,
like
there's
another.
ball bearings and there's caltrops.
Caltrops.
Right.
So what's the difference between the two?
One does
Caltrops are spiky, nasty things to step on. Ball bearings are literal balls of you can slide and slip
Steel
around.
balls.
Okay,
Just
I
slide
think-
on.
Got it. I think I already have caltrops. I think I need more ball bearings. So she's gonna pick up a bag of ball bearings from Mukami.
And with hers, hers are slightly magic tinged.
Mhm.
And the ball bearings, let me just double check really quickly what hers do. Okay. So the DC on them goes up a little bit because ball bearings usually give a DC 10 to your dexterity throw. So dexterity saving throw, excuse me. So her ball bearings is a DC 12.
Oh wow.
And if it is failed, the spell Grease is cast right where they explode, right where they essentially are. So it is dropped at the point of failure, essentially, of a dexterity saving throw.
And Ingza is just gonna shake her head like, you outdo yourself. I swear, every single time I come in here, you outdo yourself. I can't believe it.
Always trying to improve here. Anyway, if that's all you need. Did you say ball drops? Maya,
drops.
get out of here!
Ball drops.
I
It's
hate
New
it.
Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve.
Oh no. Anyway, yes. You get those information and those items. Those items. I was gonna say it's one item, but it's ball bearings. You get a bunch. Anything else that you need?
That's all good. She's gonna make her way back to the palace and to Garai.
Yes. So you guys are points for ball drops. You guys make it back to Garai's room in the palace. Likely ready to finalize plan details or simply share what you guys have found. But you guys are back together, reunited after your various endeavors.
All right. I went and spoke to the. Oh,
Please.
I went and spoke to the guards who I put on the trail at the time, but they didn't really find much. I asked about the larger houses in the neighborhood, if there's hiding a whole organization within. It's likely a larger building, but I don't know if I can point it to anything closer than one of these, and just kind of outline the handful of buildings that were on the block. And that's assuming I'm correct in my guess. It could be something else entirely.
Interesting. I've done some research in regards to the general area. Looks like there's been some renovations in the last 6 months. They have a rather enormous balcony thing, which I don't think is for leisure. So there's that. And I also collected a random assortment of venoms. Well,
Well, that'll be good. If we have to avoid magic, any extra damage we can do. Looking at the buildings that I narrowed it down to as a guess, do any of them have this big balcony he's talking about?
Yeah.
So you're thinking they're here?
possibly. Also, one of the their neighbors reports really strange traffic patterns, like just a lot of people coming in at like bursts, but never long enough to be witnessed. He hears anywhere between a handful to a dozen at random.
So no consistent time frame when they're usually on their way in or out.
No, she's been trying to intercept them to prove her sanity to her husband.
Did she report any strangeness in terms of lack of sound at all?
No, she was very adamant it was the sound that bothered her.
Okay. Because in this area that is going to make sense to everybody that she's describing, in this area I've heard about both sounds from a violin as well as pockets of silence, and which in a residential area is very strange because residential areas being as quiet as they already are, I'm wondering what kind of sound they're trying to dampen. And, some people have been saying they look right outside and they see traffic, they see people talking, things like that. They don't hear a thing. So I have a feeling that these incidences are not wholly unrelated.
Most likely.
Well, as a working plan, if we were to observe the premises late into the evening, it's likely that those sounds are both people leaving and returning. So if we wait for them to leave, either the target will be among them and we can strike then, or there will be fewer people left behind to deal with, though they may come while we're in the middle of our business.
That's fair. We also need to make sure, because the guards are apparently wound tighter than a spring, that any sort of strange noise they start arriving. So we also need to be very careful in terms of what sound we make. They've been reacting to sound in particular.
That might be our way in.
Distraction?
We make the sound, they knock on the door, we get a look inside, perhaps a head count, or at least someone we can target with a spell.
You think we can get in with them? Or are you thinking that they distract at the front door and we go in the back?
Whatever seems to be the best idea. I'm not really willing to commit at this time, but they can't do anything crazy if the guards are outside.
We'll play it by ear then.
Do either of you, and I might not even ask this question if I know that my old friend can do this. I just don't know your skills as a new person. So I've got some items that need to be identified. Is my question. So if I just know you can do that, I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, I found these. So leave it to you."
I found these.
I cannot. But I mean, as somebody who deals in trinkets, like it's more of an auctioneer level. It's not like wizard. I cast identify.
Yeah, you can more or less look at something and be like, this is nice, or like this is probably nice but not super nice. But yeah, obviously you wouldn't be able to have like an identify.
I just don't know what the magic man has at his disposal.
Magic man, you would know, is very much built for ass kicking and a lot of like regular like day-to-day magic stuff. So I absolutely do not have identified.
Then I'm just gonna pull out 4 potions and a necklace and just.
I am actually hold on. Just because of Vogli's character's backstory and like everything that she is involved with, go ahead and roll me a d20. On a 12 or higher, we're gonna say that you have an item that will help you identify things on you, because I feel like she would have. Oh no. Okay. I feel like it's a something that she would carry, but maybe not on like missions. Like if she's in a safe place and will appraise, then she can kind of go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately,
she
just-
could
them
probably like look at
Jeweler eyeball things.
it. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
She'd be like, "Oh,
Basically.
that's lovely." Unfortunately, I do not carry some of my appraisal items on me when I'm on a mission like this. Maybe I could do that later. Can she like pick it up and observe it and try and, glean something from it based on, any markings there are? If the jewel she knows is like dwarvish, maybe it has that property or something like that.
I've been here for a bit, and I know the magic lady. She does appraisals.
Kurugu? Or
Yeah, one of those that starts with a K. Yeah, that sounds about right.
okay. Yes. Kurugu could absolutely do that. So if you're interested in doing that while we wait for cover of darkness.
Do I know who Kurugu is?
Yes.
Yes, you do. She's the person at the midnight scale who keeps, fueling Valen's different magical exploits.
Cool.
Yeah.
And-
I do believe that Garai in character has been there once or twice as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, Garai as a character is aware of Kurugu.
And is he aware of Kurugu's opinions on items that don't necessarily belong to the people who bring them in?
She seems to be a relatively just person.
Cool. Cool.
What? All right.
That's awesome.
So we might not want to bring these to a regular business.
Oh, I see. So you went straight, but you didn't go that straight.
I'm glad to see you on the side,
Good.
on this side for a
Glad.
change.
I was worried for you. I mean, it's not like the potions have the owners' names on it, so.
I'm gonna peel off the dude's label that he has with his name.
Anymore.
Just-
I mean,
Tear that up. Well, what I remember about magic items, there's one way to find out what this thing does. I'm just gonna put the necklace on.
Okay.
you're gonna
Let
do.
me double check.
I mean, that's assuming it's an attuned item, because I don't know if you just learn it if it's not attuned, but
It does require attunement.
all right.
So,
So,
yeah, it's different for a little bit. Bobby's
We'll
potion.
see.
So in an
Okay.
hour, either you'll have a cool new power, or you'll be a frog or something.
Looks very nice with your eyes.
Well, if I turn into a frog, as long as we can find a way to undo it, that's one way in. To leave a
Frog?
window open.
In a necklace.
I think he means him being the frog would be easier to infiltrate than his current form.
I suppose. I'm not sure if I recall very many frogs getting in and out of houses. More like, mice and rats, certainly.
In any
Uh,
case.
So you're waiting for attunement.
Well,
While you
we
have
can.
this on.
We got an hour to fine tune what our plan
Yeah,
is.
that's what I'm
so-
saying. Like this could be, you could be attuning as you're
Yeah.
still planning. So go right ahead.
Have you spoken to your contacts in regards to distractions for Garai?
You bet I have. And I have a few items up my sleeve that can not only make loud noises to call over some of our more stressed out guards. I also have items that can may or may not appear to cause a public emergency without anybody knowing that I am the cause. So,
Excellent.
yeah. How about for you? How was your trip?
I have venoms for you if you wish to partake, I suppose.
Whatever
guessing-
you have on offer, I would love to coat maybe one of my blades.
Foozca, I have no idea what these venoms are. I'm assuming
I
there's
should
some
have
kind
shared
of
them with you.
hemo.
Did you not?
Did you? Hold on.
Yeah.
I bet they do
Oh,
just
I'm
as much
literally looking at 'em.
damage
I'm sorry.
as his weapon.
Also, I forgot to hold on. There's one thing I did forget to give you. So let me adjust that real quick. I will say, there we go. Okay. It should have updated, but the number next to him is how many applications you have of each.
Wow. Well, that quill person was very generous. Okay, so I have one that will only work after midnight. But
Oh, that's
after
fun.
midnight, it does horrible things. This
What
other
kind?
one, just like a tremendous amount of damage. It looks like. I'm guessing it's a hemotoxin. The crawler venom is likely a neurotoxin, given its paralytic effects. That is a DC 15 con save meta, where they get
Says it's in character.
paralyzed,
Hmm.
which is really good for melee cats because that's auto crit. But meta off, I have this other quill poison. Got a handful of applications for this. They take quite a bit of damage as well if they fail.
Well, since you're so well versed in this, so I'm very good at sneaking around in the shadows and taking down one person at a time. It may be, I'm thinking maybe the paralytic for multiple people. As I handle one person, I can maybe let the paralytic do its thing on another.
The paralytic only has 2 applications, just so you know. But if you say you can do well with it, he just kind of slides it over to you. It's yours.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And she's going to add that, if I am reading this correctly, add it to the vicious dart.
Sure. I'm gonna share it with all of you guys. So if any of these are shared with you, you guys know what they entail.
Thank you.
God damn it, Mark. Oh gosh. Also, at one point, Mark Song suggested that Bogley's character has sleeves of holding instead of bags of holding, and that cracked me up so much. He's like, pull shit out of your
pocket
sleeves.
the side of the sleeves, so it looks
So
like you're
good.
muscular while you're actually carrying stuff. Yes.
That's not a bad idea, having like just
Are your
endless
arms
sleeves.
in interdimensional spaces?
I like
Anyway. I have many questions. Correct.
Thank you, Mark Songs. I appreciate that so much. Oh, that's lovely.
All right.
Yes,
We're
walks
discussing
is
any more fine details as you guys are handing out venoms?
Yeah. The quill poisons is probably better for you. And
will do.
and sends 3 over to Garai.
Quill poison does lots of damage, writing it down.
I'm gonna put crawler out. So Walk is suggesting that Ingza have the crawler venom.
Yes. Well, not suggesting. You said you could use it, so he's just like, take it.
Okay.
Well, sounds like we might want to leave close to midnight for the strongest poison to be able to be
Agreed.
in effect.
Close to midnight.
Anyway, we can spend some time observing to see if people are coming or going. And if we use sound to draw guards or not. Looking at what we know about the building, do I know how many entrances it has, or am I guessing that the balcony is my best way in?
I would say, like, both you and Wok got pretty good looks at sort of maps of them, and Wok was actually there. So for the two of you, how I guess either a history or I think it would just be history. History or investigation. When you were looking at the maps to see if you caught anything, or trying to recall exactly how the building looked when you were near it for a walk. But you can choose either, both of you, and go ahead and give me a roll each.
Okay. He's gonna go with the investigation route because he has no difference between the two.
Oh shit! God fucking Garai rolls out of this world. Anyway, so with a fucking 20 history check, the 10 investigation, I think, just for walk, he was more focused on like the balcony and some of the other things that were happening. But for Garai, and looking at the maps, you're planning an assassination. You were looking to also find out where you could get in and that kind of angle to it, essentially. There does seem to be a front door. It doesn't face the infinite, but instead kind of faces inward, the street, essentially. That is seemingly the most commonly used entrance. There aren't a lot of windows on the first floor, but it is a relatively tall building. There are plenty of windows on the floors above, and the balcony seemed to have had about 2 doors and many windows alongside of it that could open and close, obviously, and grant that girl is poison. Never trust a big button to smile. Okay, so you are, with this information, essentially, you recognize there's a front door. There doesn't seem to be any kind of back door. But there, Maya was typing it. There doesn't seem to be a back door, but there's many windows on the floors above and 2 more doors by the balcony.
All right. Based on that, which I share with you, does anyone disagree with me that the balcony is the best way in? Because that's what feels right.
Unless they're already using it at that point. They tend to be active at night.
Just means the door will be unlocked. I'm in favor of the balcony as well, because at least we'll know no one's above us. It'll be easier to clear room by room.
Unlocked, but likely not unguarded, but that does not concern me.
It's been a while. All right. How are we going to get up there?
Well,
I mean, how tall is the balcony?
It's got to be at least 2 stories in the air, right?
It's about 3.
okay, so what? Story is like what, 12 feet?
It's likely at least 30 feet off the ground.
Okay, so like 36 other feet.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, in terms of reaching the base of it, it's about 30 feet. But, like, if you were to crest it, a little bit more.
Okay. Well, I tend to be pretty quiet. I could get on the balcony and lower down a rope.
I can teleport one of us up there.
Ooh.
Just immediate one-upsmanship.
Oh my god.
That sounds infinitely better.
Well, it only 2, so...
If it's on the 3rd story, can you do more than 30 feet teleport? What?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, either of you can get up there and lower a rope for those remaining. That is good enough.
Maybe we need to pad your armor a little bit. You seem a little rattly.
Who, me?
No, you didn't seem to rattle as much as Garai.
I
Well,
don't rattle at all.
he's not that kind of snake.
She just laughs.
Oh my god.
She just covers her mouth and just laughs and just turns away. Garai, let's see how we can make your armor rattle a little less.
Well,
I mean,
really, we're just...
It is only studded leather.
Oh,
I will say,
that's good.
actually, hold on. Let me just
Stop.
double check.
Wait a minute.
I'm
Are we
gonna
talking
make sure I'm
bars?
not. No, that's something else. Never mind. Where is your thing? There's something you can do. That I remember you
It's
can do
Rattles
something
Wolves.
similar to. Okay. Inga, just give me an insight check on Garai, actually.
Insight. Okay.
Did I say Inga? I'm so
yeah.
sorry.
It's okay.
thought you
I have
said
family
Inga.
members named Inga, so I'm like, whatever.
Oh no!
Holy
That was
shit!
nice. Yeah, you have good insight on this character, remember?
I'm not used to this.
That's very true. I would say in you kind of studying and looking over Garai, he is wearing studded leather armor for sure. However, there is something. He's a very tall man. Like as a human, he's 6-something. So he's taller than average for sure. But there is a seemingly unexpected grace that you've noticed about him, where if he needed to, you imagine he can probably carry himself pretty quietly. And thankfully, the studded leather armor isn't too bad.
Okay.
But it definitely takes a trained eye to notice, just because of his kind of imposing height and his, let's say, not so subtle demeanor of being kind of a cranky man or whatever. So he's not socially easy to miss, but if he's trying to, he can probably physically be easy to miss.
All right. Well, I guess if you're keeping the leather armor that you have now, I think it may be fine.
Brother, you still got the ability to fight in the dark?
I think so. Hold on, let me refamiliarize myself with a certain section of my character sheet. Yes. That's one of those skills worth keeping.
Might be one we're gonna employ.
Sounds like fun.
Not for that.
I'll leave it to you to make sure she keeps up. But
I can keep up just fine. You needn't worry about me.
All I'm worried about, just looking at both of you, is like, kid, I didn't didn't realize I have to wrangle cats about this. Is that the target, Doc? Can we work?
we are
towards
focused
that?
on that. Absolutely.
Of course we are.
All right. When do we start?
Not long after dark.
Also, are you a frog yet?
He's not a frog. After an hour of your planning, as your attunement ends, you recognize that you are currently equipped with a necklace of adaptation. I'm going to show it to you so you can read what that.
I was hoping it was a necklace of identify. That would have made our lives easier for us.
Could you imagine if it was a necklace of identified? I was like, we could have just fucking waited for this, and then we would have been fine.
All right.
Gosh.
Things and things. Advantage on things. Let me read some things I have.
Put some things on the side.
Okay. Just trying to make a decision because I have advantage against the poisoned condition and resistance to poison damage already. So this goes a step further. But looking at my snake friend, I imagine you've already got some poison tricks up your sleeve.
Yes, poison does not take to my kind as easily as it does others.
Right. I don't recall poison being something employed against me by this particular target, but the rest may. This won't work on anything applied to a blade, but I'm just gonna take it off and hand it to. I had the right screen up. Ingza. I was terrified to get it wrong because you just did. Ingza.
That's exactly.
Izanagi DoorDash, that's her name.
Yes!
Oh my goodness.
Tanner, is this one of those names that I made that you're having trouble pronouncing, or is this?
No,
This is all
just,
me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was the one who said
yeah.
DoorDash, and then I just called you Inga. So yeah, obviously, that's all me.
That's
not
racist.
you.
No.
Oh god, it's hilarious.
Yes, Ingza. She's gonna look at it and just ooh, and then she just kind of handles it and looks at it, and she says, she kind of looks down and she says, this would go very nicely with my collection. And you can see she has a bunch of necklaces, and some of them you might recognize if you are a person who has appreciated or understood religion at one point or another. Various different gods and goddesses and things like that. So she puts on the necklace as well.
I feel a lot better knowing that we employed Mr. T. Just hearing that description.
I paid the fool. And this is great.
Oh, Jesus.
Then I'm
Yeah,
gonna
also-
make sure each of you take 2 of these potions because, as far as I can tell, they're healing potions.
Okay.
I'm
You
gonna laugh my
grabbed
ass off.
4, so
It's like
you're giving
giant
all of them to them, or you're not keeping one for yourself?
Correct.
There was 4 together. Okay, I'm just making sure. I would say to the trained eye, which I think is Ingza in this situation, 2 of them look similar and one of them looks slightly different. Or no, 2 of them look similar, 2 of them look slightly different. There's 2 pairs of 2 that are unique. From 2 pairs of 2. My brain.
Can she like look at him, swirl it around, and just kind of guess or make an educated guess as to what potion it is?
Yeah, unfortunately, no. I think that much similar to Garai, they are likely healing potions. I think in terms of like their potency or if there's anything else, you can't say. But most likely healing potions of some kind.
All right. Well, if you point out that the 2 are different, then you can each take 1 of each. I guess you can also just fight for them. I don't really care, but it might as well give you each 1 of each since there are 2 kinds.
2 of each works for me.
Can you tell what's in these? And she points to the pair of different ones.
I am by no means an alchemist, but I am trained in Arcana, so can I?
Okay, give me an Arcana check. This DC is gonna be relatively high, but we're gonna see if you can. This party needs a cleric.
Ain't nobody needing clerics.
No clerics.
This party absolutely needs a cleric.
It's fine, Nanners. It's fine. I thought for sure
I
you
don't
were
think
gonna
so.
roll a cleric, and I'm so
We're
glad
gonna
you
be
didn't.
fine. Healing is for other
Honestly,
people.
the only reason I didn't go healer is because I know Joe would be like, "No, we don't need one." This is kind of Joe's show.
I
I'm
would not
respecting
have
his
judged
choices.
you out
would've,
loud
but we're
for
here.
too long. And ain't nothing wrong with bringing a healer. It's just that you don't necessarily have to. It's not a requirement.
But it is nice.
Please, you said Arcana check. I'm sorry, I rudely.
Yes,
interrupted.
correct. The DC is going to be relatively high. It's going to be about a
It's
17.
gonna be high, you said. Okay.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah, I'm just
Um,
letting you know before it. Oh,
This
baby!
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, I would say a little bit of like the snake tongue comes out a little bit. He's just kind of like sniffing, like he's really getting in there. But in kind of looking over them, you are able to recognize one of them, the smaller in terms of like volume of the bottle, seems to be a regular healing potion. So there seem to be 2 that are the regular healing potions, which are the 2d4 plus 2. The others seem to be far more potent, and there's something else about like the taste of it, the aroma that fills your senses for a moment that implies that it does more than just heal, but you cannot tell what it is. But if you had to guess, the heal was likely somewhere around a superior healing potion, so maybe an 8d4 plus 8.
Gotcha.
Plus something else that you're not entirely sure.
Okay, excellent. He'll relay that to the party. This is, I believe, a regular healing potion. This one is stronger and has an effect that I'm unsure of. I imagine it's beneficial because why would you? Unless it was. Did you get this from an elf by any chance?
I got it from a safe.
Oh, yes. I forgot we were dealing with stolen goods. We should probably split this up.
Maya's like 8d4 plus 14 plus frog. You just turn into a frog to get healed.
Nice.
Can you imagine?
Ingza is actually going to say, what do you mean by getting it from an elf?
No worries. It's too long a story.
Okay.
But you know how your kind are. Anyway,
my kind is you think I am just
What is your profession again?
a regular elf. Well, I'm kind of a broker at the
Mhm.
moment. I deal with different items, things like that,
Right.
and information.
Are these items legally acquired?
More often than not, yeah.
All right. Whatever you say. Anyway,
Back
those
to
are the
my
potions.
stolen goods, though. They're potions that can heal you, so take them.
Okay.
Look, I'm not objecting. I'm just saying. If someone was going to be the thief here, we all know who it would be.
Someone is a thief here, and it's me currently.
But that's I mean, I find this
I
fun.
appreciate you blowing holes in my argument. I'm going to hold these healing potions for you.
I'm saying the argument can wait for later.
I agree.
Do
All
you know? And she is laughing throughout
Yeah.
this, and she just is smiling, just honestly, earnestly, jovially at you.
Oh my
That's the worst
God.
part for him.
I love these guys so much. Okay, so Ingza, you are attuning to the necklace. You do have an extra attunement, so you're good actually. I should have
good.
shared the item. It should be in that same folder for you. But if there's anything
I don't
that
see
you
it,
need-
unfortunately.
No,
I see-
okay. Apparently, I fucking didn't. I apologize. I went to go look, and your color
Oh,
dot wasn't next
Well,
to the item.
well,
That's on
I'm
me.
glad that you mentioned
Uh,
that, because I would have
Here
been
you
like,
go.
it's my fault.
Okay, there you go. No, you're all set. So you have that now. And
Krulix.
Yep, apparently.
Rolex is on the corner.
Yeah.
But anyway, you guys kind of hash out the balcony plan. Potions are given to both Ingza and I almost said Waku because she came up earlier.
Wack.
But can I call you Waku? No, I'm just kidding.
Wacky. It's wacky.
Waki.
Yeah,
Oh
wacky.
no,
Yeah.
Waki. You also have your potions as well. The two you guys have one of each. But there was discussion of leaving close to midnight to get towards the balcony. But yep, don't stop it. You fucking
What?
you will karaoke so hard. But yes, you guys have your plan, have your time, have your items. Is there anything else you would like to do before you head on over?
Maybe grab some snacks.
On the way.
Yeah, snacks is where it's casually here.
He
Oh.
is ready.
My plan, to start the plan before the plan, was to reconvene at some sort of taverny type location that would
Sure.
also have rooms, and get rooms and pretend to get very drunk.
Oh,
Okay.
That's just
Sure.
my contribution to step one to let the people following me think I'm nowhere. But I'm just gonna leave through a window. But you know,
Wait, a window in the palace?
no. Well, we're gonna leave the palace.
Oh,
go
the
to a
window at
taverny,
the thing. I see. I
and then
understand.
from the
I gotcha.
bedroom window after I'm passed out drunk. Goodbye.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then if
so
they still follow
everybody-
us, then we'll have to lose them a different way. But
Correct. All right. So, are you guys helping in the him getting drunk and that whole charade essentially?
100%.
Yes.
Great. Which means I will need a performance check from all of you. They will all be not an advantage, but because you're all working together, the DC is going to be lowered.
in a perfect world, the people following me to blend in are at the tavern drinking, and we can send drinks their way. But I imagine they're not going to get drunk. That is a pipe dream, but I'm going to bring it up.
The people following you,
Yeah.
they don't seem to enter the building.
All right. Well, then my performance is for probably not, but that's all right.
Are you sure I can't do deception
All right,
because I'm
Maya.
trying to deceive them based
And
on
the
what I'm doing?
deception, this is performance first. There will be a deception later on, I promise.
Okay.
But for
All right,
now,
so 14.
Okay,
it is.
here we go. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Oh, so you added your
Yep.
All right. Nice. Not not bad. All right, so with a 14 and a 16, that does seem to help. Garai is just a man on a mission right now. He's trying to pretend to be drunk, but like the angry eyebrows come down every now and then, and it's just like this man's too sober to, like he's sober in his determination, and every now and then there's like peaks that people seem to recognize. But your companions seem to be doing a good job of trying to kind of pulling the attention away from you. I just read pleather, and thank you for the follow. I don't know why pleather was being talked about, but she sells pleather purses.
Yeah. And she helped all of the guards get their kids that very special Christmas present that year. And fake Rolexes. For their
but yeah,
houses.
so the performance seems to be going decently well. Again, your friends are helping you out and kind of pulling the attention away from you. But when it comes time to kind of go up to the room, you got inspiration.
Thank you!
Fucking
Yay!
great timing, because I was literally about to ask for that. As you guys are going up to the room, kind of like pretendingly dragging Garai's fake drunk ass up the stairs, I will need a deception check from all three of you, and you get to make yours with your inspiration roll.
Ooh, 21,
Right.
and I'm gonna do it with
Buddy.
my inspiration.
I need you to sell this.
I'm good at like everything but charisma stuff. Even though I was good at lying earlier, I'm bad at lying now.
Oh, god damn it. Sorry, roll that one.
Thank you for the sub as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Damn. These are good though.
These are not great.
Ingza, would you like to describe how you are selling this act right now? Because I think Garai is tanking it, and Waki is too busy, like, I need you to focus.
Yeah.
So he's doing a decent job, but it's not great. But you seem to have your head in the game. How are you going about this?
She's gonna say, honey, I know you're trying to hold it together as best as you can. I think you're making the best effort. No, look at me. Look at me. No. Look at me. Look at my face. I understand you're trying. Hi. Yeah. Okay. So I know you're doing your best. I know you're trying to focus a lot, but I need you to drink some water, and I need you to lie down. Okay. So we're going to go upstairs and lie down. Okay. Right. Look at me. I know you're looking that way. Look at me this way. And she's just going to be like almost hyper focused, but also just letting her face kind of get a little flush as she kind of like looks around, sort of embarrassed that this is happening, and just being like, yeah, okay, doing the positive, reinforcement kind of thing. Follow me this way.
There's a moment where it's a very busy sort of tavern atmosphere right now. So thankfully the noise and the commotion of everybody kind of enjoying their night is also like kind of helping you a little bit in this situation. But there is a moment where like as you're going up the stairs and kind of like dragging him to his room, that like two people from down below are like, you are a blessed woman. That is a thankless job. You make sure you get some rest as well, and don't let it throw up on you. Like as they're saying this, they're just kind of like swaying at the bottom of like,
and she's like, yeah,
girl.
she yes, exactly. She's encouraging them. She's like, oh, thank you. Have a good night. Hope you have one on me. Go ahead. Make sure you get some water.
One on her. Just like order some shit.
Yeah,
but you guys managed to make it upstairs and into the room. Pretty convinced that Ingza carried literally some weights, the weight in that situation.
Oh boy. Brother, let me do the talking tonight. I think you're a little too focused on the goal. So,
there won't be
what are we doing? Jumping out the window like old times?
If someone wants to make sure no one's watching the window.
If I may, I can help out with that. She's actually gonna, put any lights near the window. She's gonna like douse, and then she's going to stealth, if that's allowed. And
yeah, of course it is. Go ahead, give me your stealth roll.
And look out the window, and
God.
yep. I rolled a 5. But anyway, so and she's gonna look out the window and kind of like get her rope ready. What happened?
You rolled a 5. My brain completely broke. You have reliable talent, so even though you rolled a 5, it's technically a 10. That's what I was telling you about, and that's what I was like. That's a 10. What do you mean? Yeah,
I was
correct.
also
You rolled a
confused.
5. Yeah, you technically rolled a 5, but your reliable talent makes it so the least you can get is a 23, which is what you just did.
Yay! All right, this is great.
But yes, you sneak up to the window. Everything's kind of quiet, and there's a part of I think Waki and Garai that are like very impressed just because she's very pale, not only in hair color but in skin. And everybody around here in this desert is very well tanned, and it's not doing her any favors in the moonlight, like sort of window that she's poking her head out of. But she seems to just kind of know exactly where the shadows will cling and where she can kind of duck her head and body into. And even though she should be very easy to see, fuck, man, she's somewhere in that window. You can sometimes see her, like hear her move around a little bit, but visibly she is gone.
Very nice.
But yes, you can take a look as you're looking out there. You're just kind of taking a visual sweep of the area, right? Just like
Yes. And
okay, so go ahead and give me your perception check.
I do have dark vision.
Maya's like, it'd be really nice to have reliable talents.
Mhm.
I'm living vicariously through her right now.
Yeah.
All right. So as you're taking sort of like a sweep around this particular window, I'm going to say also that you guys were able to kind of like scout out the tavern that you were going to and know which room you wanted to go to, so you know which window you want to head out, which is in the direction you're hopefully going to be kind of like scurrying off in. But from this direction and on the second floor, thankfully that height is helping you out a little bit, and that you can see a few people kind of like walking in the alleyway here. This particular one, there seems to be someone like not too far, kind of likely about 15-20 feet from your window off in the corner, who seems to just kind of be in the beginning stages of possibly puking, with his friend kind of beside him, just like, all right, buddy, just get it out. But like nothing's coming out yet, but they just seem to be kind of like wavering. But otherwise, other than that kind of mess, you don't see any of the guards that you know were tailing Garai currently.
Okay. There are two people. I'm gonna wait for one of them to puke, and then we can move forward.
Charlie.
And she says that in a very hushed voice. Yes. And she's just gonna watch and wait and say, "All right, get ready." And she, ties the rope to any part of the room that's gonna hold any of their weight. I imagine, like she's 5'10" and maybe 110. 5' nothing and 110 pounds. So she's not.
She's little, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. That's really not an issue. The only one that you're a little concerned about is Garai, just because like he's a very tall man. But I would say also just because of your shenanigans as what you do, you would not have a problem finding a place to kind of like secure a rope that would, support all three of you.
Okay.
But you managed to do so. Go ahead, just give me a let's go another insight check to see when the best time to kind of like have all of you descend and not make too much noise would be. Nice. Okay. Very nice. So you kind of are watching them and just like, okay, now. And at the moment he seems to like turn and puke, he seemed to, for some reason, it seemed as though he was like struggling to like either puke or hold it in or whatever. The second he starts to, though, it seems like he turns towards his friend, who like desperately tries to leap out of the way so his feet don't get like completely covered in vomit. And at that moment you're like, time to go.
Yeah.
So you're able to kind of like slide down. But everyone can go ahead and give me a stealth check. The DC is dropped due to the puking person likely gathering all of the attention in this area. That's a 32! Woo!
Wow.
Nenners with a 2. Hey, that's not bad.
That's pretty good,
Not
Nenners.
All
bad.
things
Yeah.
considered.
Yep.
As we're actually in the shit now, officially, I just want to point out that the weapon of warning, I assume you giving it to me are aware, but ain't nobody within 30 feet of me can be surprised on my team.
Oh, because of your
Because of the weapon of warning. I already couldn't be surprised because I'm special, but now my friends
Oh, that's
cannot be
lovely.
surprised.
I'm just gonna double check one thing.
I will also-
I know that you. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll point out I have 120 feet of dark vision, so
Nice.
I have no dark vision, but I can see up to 10 feet.
God damn. I would say you do need. The weapon of warning is a attunement based item. You had plenty of time to attune to it though, so like you're fine. I'm just reminding myself because I was like, I think you needed to attune to find out what that is, but you do have it. And everything's good, so don't worry about it. So now you all kind of have that, and you are landing on the other side of this. I'll just say, Ingza, you know well enough to kind of be able to detach your rope and get going essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So. Thankfully, the vomiting seems to distract long enough for you guys to kind of go away. He is Batman. The Batman killed me. You guys are able to kind of shift away from that and head in the direction of your target building. So let me just check one more thing. Okay, right, that's correct. All right. So as you're going, I imagine you're keeping track of a trail or anyone who might be kind of looking in your direction. So I will ask for 2 people to give me a perception check or someone to do so with advantage. You guys can choose. That is not me.
Perception I'm proficient in, I guess.
I mean, I'm pretty good at perception, but I can't see, so
Nanners, are you sure?
it's dark.
Oh, okay. Okay. So advantage, Foos, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead and advantage your perception check.
Okay.
Oh man, that was all right.
was kinda low.
Not bad. It's okay. It's okay.
Not bad.
I'm actually, I do have a DM inspiration.
Oh,
Going to give you-
Yeah, use them inspirations.
no.
Damn it, Foos. You're not supposed to use those.
That's for Ben. Ben, thank you very much. There's a DM inspiration.
Oh,
So
good. Now,
with a perception-
here's you know what? Never mind. I was gonna say here's a question. I forget what reliable talent applies to, but that is literally a 10. So
yeah, exactly. That's as high as it can go. Yeah. With that, which actually I believe that one was lower. Yeah, it was it was a 6 and a 8 that you rolled, but yeah, anyway, they took that one and that one got higher. So as you move along, you're pretty sure you lost the 2 guards that certainly followed you from the palace. And thankfully, it is late enough that anybody who's out is like heading home or is going in a very clear direction. So nobody's really paying attention. And even on top of that, you're guiding the group well enough so that, you're not walking around when other people are there. You're very much ducking between alley to alley, making sure no one's kind of near you or following you. But you guys managed to make it to the street across the street from the building you're looking at, kind of nestled between some of the residential homes here. You guys find yourselves sort of like ducking underneath the windows of the first floor, where you can hear some of the families like kind of moving about their houses. One of the houses of which it was that woman who Waki spoke to not too long ago. But he can kind of hear her voice on like the second floor, seemingly chatting or doing something. But you guys find yourselves across the street from the building, silently ducking in the bushes kind of next to the building and looking in that direction.
Okay.
What are you guys gonna do?
We're here. How Waki, how far can you see?
Further than you.
I had a feeling. So, can you just check down the street to make sure we are alone? I'll look up this way on this side of the building.
Sounds good. He's just going to glance down the street.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Could it be an investigation? Maybe
It's not.
performance?
Nope.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's got to be perception. Confirmed. All right.
Oh.
There it is.
as you're
I tried
kind
to
of
find it. She was all stubborn.
you turn and kind of like look down the road and just kind of seeing. Thankfully, everything seems nice and quiet. And there's a moment where you hear that woman's voice in like one of the windows up above, and you actually see her kind of leaning out the window, and you hear her like, "I'm telling you, just wait. It might be, if it's not tonight, I'm telling you." It's like arguing, and you can hear like a masculine voice on the other side, just like, "I just get into bed, sweetie. There's no noise outside." And as she's saying this, it freaks you out just because she pokes her head out and is like leaning out of the window. And for just a moment, it kind of like looks down in your direction, and you're like, and in doing so, you're like, "Yeah, we're good. Don't worry. Everything's fine. It's just her, but everything else is, I don't see nothing." Nothing to worry about.
Okay. In seeing that, Ingza is just gonna check herself and check.
Well, that was the group perception check.
Oh, that was
essentially.
group. Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah. That's
All right.
that was the like what we just did exactly.
Cool. Okay, so I guess then we just continue through the Ingza's shortcuts all the way to the building that Garai described.
You're across the street from it right now.
Oh, across the street. Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry, I missed that.
No,
I apologize.
It's all right. Don't worry.
So then she's going to whisper, "Okay, I'll go across the street. Just scout, and then wave you over if everything is good." And she's gonna, do exactly as she says, and just see, because depending upon where the balcony is, she's just going to see if anybody's in the balcony or if anybody is like guarding the balcony below, if there are any windows or doors that people can see in or out of, things like that, to see how they could possibly get up without being noticed.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me your stealth roll, please, and thank you. And Maya posted the best stealth gif I think I've seen in a while in our Discord.
I haven't seen it yet. Oh my god.
I was listening to what you were saying as she was posting that. I was fucking cracking up. Okay, yes, so you kind of like slink off and are going in that direction. But Ingza basically turns to you guys and is like, "I'm gonna go check it out and then I'll let you know," and stealths off in that direction. And once she kind of slips off into the darkness, the two of you are sort of left in this space between the buildings. And who has a higher passive perception between the two of you? Garai and
Garai. Garai does.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yours is awful. I'm sorry. Why did I even bother?
Mine's like
I apologize.
8. It's 8. It is actually 8.
What is the actual number on yours?
Oh shit! I forgot that I have dark vision
Great.
because of stuff, so I can absolutely see 120
Okay.
feet dark vision. This is why we double check what runes do.
Oh yeah, because
Nice.
Yep. It's all right.
I didn't
The
add that
character
to
you
my
did make.
cheat sheet. Is the problem?
Yeah. Look, you did make this character. I appreciate you playing it.
All right, boom.
But right, what
20
is
foot
your
dark vision.
what is the exact
Cheat
number
sheet.
of your passive perception?
17.
17. God
Wow.
damn.
Okay. As the two of you are waiting and Ingza kind of steps off for a second, you didn't hear her at any point in time, but you do recognize the sort of red armor of the guard captain Kanja walking, not in the road that your friend Ingza just kind of walked past, but the one behind you. She seems to be moving a bit more quiet than expected, but you hear her approaching you from behind.
I mean, can we scatter and hide?
I mean, you are kind of between two residential buildings with like the road in front of you and the building you're attempting to infiltrate across the street.
How tall is these buildings? Can I just
They're pretty
clamber up?
tall.
All right.
Oh, you're gonna try and climb the building?
I was exploring it as a possibility.
You sure you can? You absolutely could. They are pretty tall.
All right. I'm just gonna quietly guard incoming.
I can try to convince her to go another way.
If she's not coming specifically for us, then that would be wise.
I would say you guys
I'll,
probably have 10-15 seconds before she's on you.
Is Garai like just climbing up a fucking building right now, or are we just still having this conversation?
I mean, if they're quite tall, nah.
Okay.
By the climb speed, we'd be talking, but
Are there
I'm just
any
gonna be
like
found halfway up the building?
it's nighttime? Are there any shadows that are like particularly deep, like black?
Solid black might be a little bit difficult just because these buildings, like the residential areas that you're in, they seem to all kind of have like candle lights in the windows and like that are shining kind of in these alleys a little bit. If you kind of duck out of this alley, there's a chance you might find it elsewhere, but currently where you are, you're mostly in like dim light, sometimes dark, but not like pitch black.
He's gonna look for like, or just look around to see if there's like an alley or any place that has like a deep enough shadow that could double as like almost pure darkness.
Sure, give me an investigation check.
Thank goodness. All right, we had a chance, boys. We got a chance.
Yeah, Nanners.
17.
Very no, we have a
Yay!
chance. It's a +2. I thought you were like, I got like a +4 at least.
Man, he's clever. He's not a
Two.
genius.
Yeah, that was awesome. Good night. But yes, as you kind of look around, you recognize that
Good night, man.
it might be a bit dicey, but there is an alleyway kind of like across the street and like 2 houses down from the building that Ingza also just went to, kind of like off in the other direction, that seems to have everybody in the house have no candles on. So that particular space between the buildings is very
But
dark.
we have to go across a lit street to get there.
This is not lit. The street isn't lit, but the buildings on either sides are in different ways. But the street itself is not lit.
All right, brother. I could put us in some shadows, or we can try to magically redirect your guard friend. Your
Highness. Let's get in the shadows. Redirection, she could always circle back.
Understood. I guess we're doing the cockroach run. Let me know what we need to do.
So you're skittering to the darkness on the other side.
I've never heard
Alright,
that before. Oh my god.
Please give me another stealth check as the two of you
Oh,
are now
no.
getting flushed out of your position.
I don't have that many stealth. Just come on.
Oh my
All right.
god.
Wow. You guys.
Big Garai energy. When it counts, this boy always rolls so good. Let me roll a perception for this person.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you guys are here, Garai is like, someone's coming, essentially, and the two of you decide to, as Nenner's just said, cockroach run, skitter across the alleyway. And Ingza, you have very good sort of insight. Your perception isn't great, but like, there's a moment where, like, as you're going, you swear you heard something, and you see just kind of like the tail end of Waki kind of like duck into an alley that is like 2 buildings down from where you were and across the street from where you last saw them. But the two of them seem to kind of like skitter off. You didn't even see Garai, to be honest. You just know that Waki seemed to go in that direction. But as the two of you kind of settle in that darkness and just kind of like wait for a second, you still hear the sound of the patrolling. And it seems to kind of stop in that alley, but in just kind of looking in that direction, she doesn't seem to walk all the way through and look across the street. You just hear her kind of walk into that alley and then stop, seemingly for a few seconds or so, before you start hearing her footsteps leading away.
Okay. She's just gonna wait until the steps kind of fade, and then she's gonna look around and try and see where Garai and Waki have gone. I mean, her passive perception is 16. So
Yeah, that's higher, but they rolled higher than your.
They rolled
passive
higher than that?
perception.
Okay.
That's why it's like, yeah, the 19 and the 27, unfortunately, would make it so
Okay.
that she's like,
Got it.
they're gone. The good news is I can't see them, and hopefully no one else can.
All right. So, in so doing, she's just going to stick to the plan and just do her reconnaissance, and then go back to the original space. Granted that nobody has come up again, and that I don't know if she knows Kanja. She might. I don't know.
I think you would know of Kanja for
Yeah.
sure. The guard captain, who very often kind of does tasks specified by the kings to
Mhm.
her specifically. More often than not, if you see her around, it's because the kings are interested in what's going on in that area.
Got it.
And just because of the nature of your business, you would know, like, avoid her for sure.
Got it.
But yeah, you do know enough about it. But so are you heading back to the alleyway where you came from, or
No,
were
she's
saying
gonna finish her reconnaissance of if there are guards,
Yes, no
just
problem.
scoping out where the light is, things like that.
go ahead. I'm gonna give this an investigation check because you're really taking in a lot of like the details of what's going on around here. So
Yay.
go ahead and do that for me.
I did
It's not an
okay.
advantage,
Yep.
but that's fine. God damn.
29!
Listen,
Holy
that's a 29. I feel like I only see these numbers with Vogley when she's rolling me Constitution saving throws, but like it's really cool seeing them for these like skill abilities. Anyway, with your 29 investigation, you do see that there don't seem to be any guards on the outside of this building. That front door, though, as you were kind of walking up, it's kind of facing the street. So I feel like Ingzo like spotted it on her way in, but was kind of trying to stick to the alleys and like not be visible. But as you were going and you were looking in that direction, that door has about 4 different locks, and they seem to be, there's 2 kind of in the center, one towards the top, and there's one that kind of runs along like the siding of only one of the doors. But you kind of clock all of that with your sort of expertise, and then keep slinking around the building. And as you're doing so, the balcony above you that is facing the Infinite you didn't see anything when you were going by, and you do have dark vision, right?
Yes, up to 60 feet.
Right. And it's not 60 feet away, so you would be able to at least kind of like make out some things up there. You didn't see anything, but just kind of in your stealth and being cautious and taking your time and trying to get all the details, you're quite sure you heard footsteps along that balcony, but you don't see anything. And like you continue kind of like your sweep around the building, you kind of notice that there seem to be 4 windows on the first floor, which is not a lot for the size of this building, but all of them seem to be black, and the glass panes seem to be shut, and there seem to be curtains over each one of them, so you unfortunately can't get any read on what's inside any of those rooms. But on the next levels, you do see numerous windows with numerous candles lit. Not enough to sort of see what's inside, but you can just see that in some cases the curtains are pulled back and there seems to be, possibly someone in there, but the curtain and the candles are lit, and that balcony seems to have footsteps walking along them, but no physical people you can see.
Interesting. And for the the windows that contain the candles, can she like guesstimate if the candles are there to make it difficult to see in at all, since it's dark out?
So, you mean like as if you could get a better like sight on inside of that room, or if someone inside there has trouble looking out?
No, my question is more of I wonder if they put the candles there strategically so that no one can see in, kind of thing.
Correct. Okay, I see. So you're trying to, I don't know why I said correct. I get it. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, so you're trying to see if that was purposefully done. That might be a little difficult to parse what you're doing. You did get a very high investigation check. Give me another insight check, I would just say.
Okay.
Just trying
Insight.
to...
Holy shit!
Well, we know the candles are in sight because she can see them.
Yes, they are. God,
Fun time!
get out of the
Time for puns!
Cheating, it is cheating. She's that reliable talent. She rolled a natural 2, but reliable talent's like, no, 20, bitch. That's the lowest I can get.
High-level rogue.
Get out of here, Maya. I'm not cheating. I'm being good.
Amazing. So as you are kind of taking a look around, there definitely seems to be Nub's a treat. He's asleep on the laundry. I will shake some treats in a bit though. But as you are taking just a look around this area, there at least seems to be like the intention of misleading people with this building. That balcony is weird. You can't see, but you can hear people there, it seems to be. And even so, like when you were by the other buildings, you could hear conversations in the houses that were happening here. This building seems silent. And maybe those candles are there just to make it seem like business as usual is being conducted. People are just up and enjoying their night, but you don't hear anything, and it feels weird. If anything, I think Ingza would feel like it just feels staged. Like maybe not all of these rooms are occupied, and maybe that's why the candles are there, just to seem like someone's home kind of situation, but it seems staged in some way. Why? You're not entirely sure, but you're fairly certain something about that is off.
Okay, so with this feeling, she's gonna slink back around and then go to the point where she said that she would wave them over and have a look around. And now that she realizes that someone may be invisible on the balcony, she, first checks to see if there's anybody coming down the street, and then she goes back to where she saw Garai and
okay, wait, I'm sorry, hold on. That was like 4 different things that might all need checks. So
sorry.
No, it's okay. So right after, it's okay. Don't worry. You look very worried about it. It's okay. So after you do this, your first step is you're trying to make sure the invisible people don't see you, or what was it exactly?
Well, I'm sorry. She goes back to where she entered in from the road. Where she said that she was going to wave both Garai and Waki over, but because she can't see them, she now has to weigh in the fact that there may be somebody on the balcony that may be able to see them, and also try and figure out why they ran away, which is probably due to Kanja. So she's just going to look up and down the street to see if anybody's coming.
Okay, so you're just checking the environment, essentially.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
That was a lot to say, checking the environment.
Yeah, also, go ahead and give me another, that reliable, no, it's not reliable talent, sorry, that was the normal one. I was looking at your insight. Go ahead and give me another stealth check as you're coming back towards the center of the street. It's a reliable talent, baby! Yeah. Alright, so as you're heading back out, thankfully you always know where to kind of like duck and hide and make sure nobody can really see you. But with your perception check, you do hear what you think is sort of like heavy armored footsteps in the road that's parallel to you, and you can kind of hear it over a little bit of like the chatter of what's happening in the night in the residential area. But more than anything, you're pretty sure you hear someone kind of like slinking down into their spot a little bit, and just because you kind of caught the tail end of him before, you're pretty sure that's Waki just kind of settling into a stealth spot, and you barely hear a little bit of that.
Okay. So she's just gonna, nod, and then what would she do in this instance?
Well, I will actually give you a moment just because you had some time to like search this. I just want to see if the boys were doing anything now that they're stealthed in this corner. Because Ingza is investigating in the meantime, but if there's anything you guys wanted to prepare or say, I wanted to give you an option to do that.
I mean, we're in the thick of it now. I'm not gonna be doing some idle chit chats.
No.
If I had like mission related chit chats, if I were to hear anyone else approaching and whatnot, then I would take some words. But at the moment, we're just waiting for the scout report.
Okay, so the two of you just kind of in this corner, just like, well, that seemed to work. Just gonna wait now. Not a problem. Okay, so you guys are doing that. So yes, Ingza, you can carry on. I just wanted to make sure they didn't have anything that were like, I wanted to make sure I had rope out or something.
Okay, so now that she's kind of sees that they're hiding too, she's not going to force them to come out of hiding because she's not 100% sure. It's probably Kanja, but she's not 100% sure why they were stealthing, so she's going to go back to where she heard Waki, because Garai is gone, and she's just going to check in with him. So she's going to run across the road.
Yeah, well, not across. You're just going along it and then like,
along the road,
another alley, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think they would neither see you because your stealth is way higher than either of their passive perceptions. So you can start the conversation.
Okay.
Once she gets in within 10 feet, I do in fact.
Oh, your blind sight. Correct. Yes. then either of you can start the conversation based on the proximity.
Up to
She's
you. If you
approaching
say
you.
something before 10 feet, then say something.
Right.
Otherwise, I will
She's
say something.
not. She's gonna, get within between 10 and 5 feet.
Okay.
To
Well,
you
as soon
before.
as I'm aware of you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she doesn't want to startle you either.
So yeah, as soon as you're within 10 feet, what did you find?
Oh, that's pretty good. There's something not right about the building. It seems that they are really staging it to look like, some rooms are not occupied and some rooms are occupied, which, it just is off. And then for our balcony, I did not see anyone, but I heard footsteps on the balcony. And I don't know if you can, you picked me out, so I don't know if you can see invisibility or see whatever, but maybe someone's invisible up there. It seemed to me that the only way that a person could be up there walking and I hear them is if somebody is invisible.
It's less about seeing and more that I didn't live as long as I did without being very aware of who's close enough to strike. Not that it saved me in the end. If someone's on the balcony, if we can get to the roof above them, we can drop down from above and take them out quickly.
Okay. And can we see that there's a building maybe taller than that one?
Unfortunately, this one seems to be the tallest building in the area.
Well, if it's a balcony, hold on, because if it's like, if it's like a rooftop thing, that's one thing. Balcony,
No,
I'm
it is
picturing off the side.
Correct, exactly. The roof of this building is above that balcony,
Quite
but
fair.
there are no other buildings that are taller than this building.
Okay, so we just got to get a roof of the building that they're on.
Is it within 500 feet?
Wow.
Yeah, where you are right now, yes.
If you can
you
still
ready?
get us up there, as long as it's quiet.
Well, this place there might do something, but
All right. I'm fairly confident I could climb up if I needed to. Can you get up if he takes me with him, or should you go? Ingsa.
I was actually going to suggest maybe both of you can go up and then come down, and then I can go up. I would provide that different perspective.
Fair enough. Then I will just give you the nod, like, let's do this.
as soon as he gets the nod, dimension door, we're going up.
Dimension door.
RP
As
for
the...
little slut.
Goodbye. But as the dimension door kind of tears into reality for a moment, the two of you step in. The two of you step back out onto a rooftop. That for just a second, had the circumstances been different, the two of you would have really appreciated this view. The oasis, the giant infinite oasis, expands before you, and the moonlight just beautifully glistens off the water. But instead, these two are here for murder. And as you step on top of it, there's a moment where, like, your ears seem to pop. Like, there's a change in atmosphere, or there's a change in, like, an elevation, sure, but it shouldn't have kind of happened at this change. It shouldn't have been. The magic also should have aided you in not feeling any kind of discomfort. But as you do that, there's something that just seems to kind of adjust, and suddenly you guys find yourself hearing conversations, people talking and walking about, and they all seem to be very, very close to you, but not on the rooftop from what you can see, at least. But as the two of you are kind of adjusting to this, your blind sight, your blind sight is within what, 10 feet, or is it 15?
10 feet.
10 feet. Okay, gotcha. So as you're there and you're kind of like in the center of this rooftop, you're starting to kind of make out things on the roof that, like, you're looking down, and where you land seems to be regular roof. But there's sort of, if you had to guess, what seems to be traps along the roof. maybe almost sort of bear trap-esque, because you're kind of like sensing sort of sharp things that don't seem visible right now. But this rooftop does not seem to be a nice flat rooftop in which you could walk around in currently.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
I'm just gonna give you some sort of cool "we've been in the shit together" hand sign that means it's trapped.
That might be a problem for your knife ear friend, but
Racist.
can we just drop? Do
what
you
are you
see
doing?
anyone that we can get hands on?
I don't see people, just traps.
Okay. Can we repurpose these traps by chance?
Recycling, yay!
I suppose if we stood our ground here and tried to get them to fight us, but they laid the traps. Let me try something. I'm gonna see if I can approach one and try and disarm it.
Okay. Do you have? Excuse me, as I'm trying not to burp.
I got thieves' tools. If
Yeah,
that
is there? Can work. Let me double check something.
there's Tinker's tools, is the other thing I would think
Tinker's
of, but I
tool,
don't
yeah.
have them.
I mean, if they're like bear traps, I mean, if you know where they are, you could kind of handle them.
Yeah, exactly. If he kind of knows where they are, I'm going to say you can use your thieves' tools for this. I will say if it's a low enough number, you will break them, unfortunately, just because like they're clearly not meant for this. Or you can try and use a sleight of hand, in which case the DC will be higher, but you won't break a tool possibly.
Well, I guess to his point, if I can just pick up the bear trap, if it is in fact a bear trap,
It doesn't seem to. It almost feels like it's welded into place. It does not seem to move.
gotcha. Well then, I will use the thieves' tools.
Go for it.
And I don't have any like secret sauce cheesiness, I don't think.
So much cheese.
No, I just have a real high bonus.
Whoa.
Jesus
Whoa.
Christ.
I didn't put the expertise in thieves' tools. You did that to you.
I didn't roll an 18 with a plus 15 to it. All right, listen. God damn. Okay. Yeah, with a 33, you unlock the secrets to the universe. No, but you managed to disarm this trap, no problem. And actually, as you're doing it, effortlessly and without even a sound on this rooftop, there's a moment where, as you're sort of disarming one of the pins and kind of taking it out, a little sort of glint of arcane magic seems to kind of not spray in your direction, but almost like evaporate and just kind of fade off into the air around you, but nothing that inhales or anything like that, but just kind of wafts away. And you get the idea that not only are they seemingly fixed into place, but there might be some other enchantment involved with these traps that would otherwise affect whoever's stuck in them.
Well, does it make it visible when that magic fades?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Correct.
That was my first thought. Well, I don't know
Yes.
if that magic had any other properties to it, but it seems that it's not something we can take with us. I'm just going to gesture to this now visible, very immobile, disarmed trap.
Well done. I'm glad your skills haven't slipped.
Well, I don't know about not slowed, but they're fast enough. Are there more traps up here? It seems like probably.
Yes.
Okay.
You rolled a fucking 33. I'm gonna say with your blind sight and kind of your incredible roll, I feel like you've learned the ins and outs of these traps. But that one, you just fucking figured that shit out. So I'm not gonna have you roll for the rest because that's insane. But you're able to take care of about 3 or 4 more traps. There are some more that are kind of behind you on the roof, but I think just in approaching the balcony, you take care of the other ones that are in your way.
I was going to say, I don't need to clear the roof
just-
right now. I need to get to
Exactly.
the edge.
Right, exactly. So you're able to disarm those, essentially.
All
No
right.
problem.
Who's on the
but-
balcony? Can we see?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Netters, you also, Joaquin has some sight of some kind, right?
He has which sight? So anything within 30 feet of him, he could tell if they're. Here, I'll look it.
You have true sight, I think, to it.
Witchy.
No, he does
I
not.
wish I had true sight.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking that they changed witch sight in the 1D&D rules to be true sight.
There you go.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
God damn. Okay. Concealed by illusion or transmutation magic. Okay, gotcha.
At least I think they did.
So-
I don't know if you make that up.
No, you're fine. It's interesting just because as the two of you lean over to look like kind of over the balcony, and I imagine you're not doing this overtly, just enough to kind of like,
Yeah.
let's just see what's up there. The tops of one of the like a few of the heads are kind of in your blind sight range, so you kind of get a head count of 2 or maybe 3 currently that are just at the edge that seem to kind of be patrolling along the side of this balcony. And this balcony is long. It is likely about 30 feet wide because it nearly spans the entire side of this building. And for Waki, as you're looking over, your eldritch invocation of witch sight seems to dismantle the illusion of this emptied balcony. And instead, you do actually see about 3 people, all seemingly dressed in sort of darker clothing that seems to kind of like cling to their forms. They all seem kind of relatively short and very, very slim. But each of them seem to have a crossbow, all of which are kind of sitting in their hands. And you're also able to recognize swords of some kind, all attached to each of their hips as well.
Slim. Elvin Slim?
So racist.
No.
Knife
racist.
ear Slim?
Give me a insight
I'm
check.
salivating to stab them, Slim?
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Insight. I'm great. Oh, well.
Well, hold on. No, it would be insight. It would be insight. Ooh. My God, that was a very, very good roll. I'm super impressed. You do recognize on at least 2 pointed ears that are kind of poorly concealed by hoods.
Blade is already out. Are you ready to dance?
I'm just gonna hand up and just. We have one more on her way up. Let's strike together.
And as you guys wait, Ingza, is there anything you are currently doing? And then we're gonna take a break or we're not gonna break. We're gonna end before we get too much further.
Okay, so she clearly is going to recognize the fact that they not only have the high ground, but they also can see much better than she can, who is
Currently.
on that balcony, which is why they went up there in the first place. So she's going to sort of wait to see if they poke their heads out and if they're like looking like they're ready to go. So we'll do that first.
I will say, go ahead and give me a perception check because you're just looking to see them if they come and like give you a signal, essentially.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh.
Okay. You don't see them at any
Okay.
point in time. You know they dimension doored up there, but otherwise, no visual confirmation at all.
Okay. So, after a certain amount of time has passed,
Mm-hmm.
she also recognizes the fact that she, didn't see Garai before, that, she might have seen Waki, but she didn't see Garai. So she's putting 2 and 2 together that, maybe they're either waiting for her or, something's going on up there. So if something's in either case, it would be a good idea for her to like start on her way up. And so she knows there are people on the balcony, so she's going to look for some other way to get up. So she climb on like, not a windowsill per se, but like a frame of the window, or is there a gutter, or is there, a way she can kind of like...
Unfortunately, there are not a lot of gutters in this desert city. There are sort of things along the side of the building that you might be able to kind of find your way up. And, yeah, parkour, essentially.
Yes.
Your way up this side. This would be an athletics check as opposed to sort of an acrobatics, just because you're physically pulling yourself up. Normally I'd be like, you have to also roll a stealth with disadvantage, but reliable talent means you at least get a 23. So I'm not going to have you roll that, but go ahead and roll your athletics to see if you could scale this bitch.
Oh
Just
my
know
God.
you had disadvantage and you killed
Just know
it.
you had disadvantage. Exactly. Ooh, okay. It is a bit of a struggle. I would say you're on your way up, but it is unfortunately not terribly smooth. And obviously, just because of Ingza's expertise, you're not going on a side of the building where you can be seen. You're trying to be as like quiet as you can as you're going up this, but there's not a lot of handholds on this smooth ass sandstone building. Try to scale in the middle of the night.
Awesome.
But as you're doing so, your sensitive senses. Allow myself to introduce myself. Hear the armored footsteps again of Kanja kind of approaching, and this time not from the street that you were originally in, but the one kind of parallel to it on the opposite side. And if you get a low enough athletics on your next roll as you are continuing this, there's a high likelihood that she might spot you.
Oh,
So-
great.
So go ahead and
Wonderful.
roll me another athletics check as
Oh,
you're
God.
working your way up and you hear that.
Beautiful. Holy shit.
Boom.
Oh my God.
What, you gonna threaten us with a bad time? This is the Garai squad. We all roll when it matters.
Let's go. Let's go. Ingza just gets her shit together and is just like full focus. Just the smile that is normally there has vanished for just a second as she's just on her game right now. And you manage to scale the side of it. And much like the two, as soon as you get up to the edge and kind of pull yourself up, your ears kind of pop. And you feel like there's just like a change in atmosphere that you were not quite expecting. But as you get to the top of the roof, you can see the two of them at the other end, kind of leaning over towards the balcony. And there seems to be a snake sword that's drawn. They're kind of like leaning over the edge. But this is essentially where I'm going to stop you guys. As you guys have made it to the rooftop and are looking over the balcony that you were going to make your way in. So we'll stop here, and we're going to be picking up next week, likely earlier in the day, so it might be a weird early stream for us. But I am having so much fun with these guys.
Yes,
this is a like great team that I was not expecting. This is fun. Okay, so I was looking around to see who we can raid.
Are we gonna raid? Are we also voting for each other or no?
No, unfortunately, we're not going to have inspirations for this. Actually, well, there's only 3 of you, which was kind of the problem. Yeah, I'm not going to give. Oh, hi, budgie. Nubs is
He
here.
needs the treats.
He doesn't need the treats. Hold on, I'm going to show him first.
I know it's a lot.
And then I'm going to give him treats. Here's Nubs.
Hi,
No,
Nubby. Hi.
He just got up. He's been in laundry all day. Let me tell you. Here you go, buddy.
Oh, he's been in laundry. He's
I was
no
just
doubt
thinking
helping.
about it earlier because Toast is on his Toast post, which is what I'm going to call it
His
officially from
I
this moment.
fucking love that.
I have not had a name for it till now, but I was thinking about it. It's like I have a spare webcam. If I get a long enough USB extension, I could mount it above him and then just have a Toast cam.
You can have a toast cam. We need this in our lives, I think. All right, so hold on. Let me give Nubs some treats. Come on, buddy.
Yes.
You can do it. Yeah, look here. No, not there. Here. Here you go. No, Nubs.
Yeah, no.
This is because of Maya. She gave you a treat. No, you have to grab it with your mouth. What are you doing? Oh goodness. Yep. There you go. Good boy. All right. Now you're gonna hear crunches because he's munching, and he stepped on my keyboard, so I don't think I'm hearing anything anymore. Okay,
Well,
All right.
we would also
that
just
sounds
quiet.
about right.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, he muted. So I didn't hear anything for a moment. If anything was said,
That's okay.
I am back now and I can hear things. So we are going to go raid. Actually, before I say that, we're back again Wednesday with Bygone Keep. As
Correct.
we fight our dingus asses through this fucking keep, which is super fun. Our kill team is going to be back Friday, I believe.
See if we can find my armor.
And then, yeah, we can find his armor, where we grab him some more and stuff. Also, tomorrow, Sunday, there we go. Is the spell logic on? Is the spell logic on? Spell logic
Yeah,
on?
Dispel Logic. we're
Okay,
on
Dispel
tomorrow.
Logic's on. I am constantly shouting them out, and Joe's like, we're off. So, making sure you go check them out tomorrow. Dispel Logic is amazing. But we're going to go raid Nerdy Hippie. because
Ooh.
that's a great name. That's simply a great name. And they also don't seem to be live for terribly long, so hopefully they're not going to be done. Oh, hello, Nubs. He's looking for more treats. Say hello, buddy. Okay. But we're gonna go raid. And thank you so much once again. Please don't step on my keyboard if you don't mind. I can't see nothing.
Thank you guys for
But
playing.
we're gonna
and
go
coming by.
and say goodbye.
Appreciate it.
And have a wonderful
Bye,
night.
everybody. Good
And-
night.
Yes, good night, goodbye. Thank you,
Good
thank you.
night.
Good
Good
night.
night.